Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Chandler, or the Geek Slays, and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast, episode number 141. We've got the return of the legend, MillerFootball. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Calling me the legend, that just boosted my spirits a little bit. That's a first.
His legend status is decreased the longer he wears that god-awful orange. Is that also a Trubisky jersey?
Yes.
God.
It's the only orange jersey I own. I got this for Christmas like 4 years ago.
Goodness.
I gotta get a new orange one. I don't know who I'm gonna get because there's no one on this team worth getting at the moment, except for Kari.
I'm gonna tweet at Kari Blasingame and tell him
I already have. Listen, I already ordered a Kari jersey. I tweeted out already. I ordered a Kari jersey, so that doesn't count.
I'm tweeting the clip of you saying there's no one on this team worth getting a jersey of, and I'm tagging specifically everybody who does kind of matter on the Bears. Kari, Justin Fields, Herbert,
Justin.
And Monty.
We have Monty.
I gotta get Jaquan Brisker.
He's a rookie. I don't get rookie jerseys except for Cole Kmet. He was my only exception.
That's a weird rule.
Listen, I don't want to jinx it because I don't want to get a... Listen, I've been burnt by so many rookie jerseys. Trubisky, probably Kmet.
Why do you think I don't own any Vikings jerseys? Every jersey I've ever owned, the dude leaves within 2 years of me getting it. Jared Allen, Percy Harvin, never. I don't know if I will ever own one, or at least until he retires.
Chicago Bears legend Justin Jefferson.
I love that you think any player will ever want to come play for the Bears. I get it. Historical franchise. Historically, over the last 40 years, awful. I guess I should go like 35 because I guess 40 would put us back at 85. So,
have you know we were competitive in the mid 2000s? Thank you very much.
Like a year. And Rex Grossman was your quarterback. I don't want to hear that. And actually, no, the Vikings have been way more competitive than most teams.
Yeah, but you didn't go to the Super Bowl, so I win.
Cool, you went and lost. We went to the NFC Championship game like 5 times and lost. It's fine.
Ooh, NFC title game. You want a fucking cookie?
Yeah. Do you want a cookie for being the worst team in football again? I'm sorry.
I'm not a Panthers fan.
That's valid.
Or a Texans fan.
God, what is going on with the Panthers, man?
I don't know, man.
Oh, have you seen this shit? Hold on. I saw this yesterday. I gotta find this real quick. It was supposed to be if the season ended today, what the top 10 draft picks would look like. It's weird.
I think Chicago's at like 11, which breaks my heart.
I gotta see if I can find this real quick. Does ESPN already have it updated? No. Okay, that tracks.
I think Nico tweeted out the graphic after Monday Night Football.
I'm trying to find the graphic. I know I saw it, but
I think Nico was the one that tweeted it out.
Let's go see. Not nice, Nico. I mean, nice works too, nice? I guess. Well, I mean...
Why'd you say that like that?
What?
It was very creepy.
What? The well, I mean?
Nice works too, I guess.
Nice works too, I guess. I don't know.
You said it in a different tone. It came off really weird.
Dog. I'm just talking. I don't...
People watching this will pick up on it.
Okay, what you've got to realize is the way I do content, much different than yours. I have been talking nonstop for like 8 hours. So like...
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla, though, so that's a...
Wow, congratulations.
That's a big move. That only
Never
took
played
like
an Assassin's Creed game, personally.
Don't start with Valhalla. That took like 150 hours.
No, I've got so many games on the back burner I gotta play. I wouldn't even imagine picking up a new one right now. Although I will be getting Call of Duty and 2K and every other game that I get every year that comes out, so that's a lie.
I refuse to spend money on Call of Duty this year. I really do.
I'm excited for it. I love Modern Warfare.
I didn't like the 2019 one this year. I don't know. Multiplayer is going to be bad because they're going to do what they've done for the last 5 years, which is bad.
I care more about the campaign, if I'm being totally honest. I might be the only one, but
and I don't care about the campaign, and there's no zombies mode, so I'm good. I'm
love
in
the
Call of Duty
campaigns.
for the zombies, really. So I guess I will play Warzone 2 when that releases, because I'm a streamer. It feels like heresy to
have
not
to.
to. Yeah. So the 2023 NFL draft order, picking first would be the Carolina Panthers. Shocker.
C.J. Stroud. Or Bryce Young. Bryce Young's the loved one now.
Well,
Listen,
Bryce Young is quarterback one. He is better at everything than Stroud is.
I haven't watched either of them play. I haven't started my college research yet. The only prospect I have watched is Hunter Lepke from the University of North Dakota State. Why did I say that like that?
I don't know.
It's the only prospect I've watched is Hunter Lepke.
I haven't done like in-depth film reviews, but I know two things. CJ Stroud, though he does have a really good arm, he's mobile, he's big, I'm not going to argue that. He does get the benefit of, in this case, playing at Ohio State with all the best players in the world. Okay, you have like the best receiver in this year's draft class, the best receiver in next year's draft class. Like,
JSN hasn't played though, right?
I don't know.
I think he's been hurt.
But
I know Marvin Harrison's son's tearing it up though.
Yeah.
I hear his name all the time.
Yep. But for Bryce Young, I know he's at Alabama, so you feel like he's surrounded by all the same talent. Have you watched a Bama game this year? Outside of Bryce Young, that team's got no juice. Bryce Young is the
defense
juice.
isn't good?
No.
How is that possible?
And if you watch the Texas game or the Tennessee game, the only reason Alabama is even close is because Bryce Young is just that dude. He has been putting that team on his back. Last week, it didn't work out. That might have been the worst game-winning kick I've ever seen. That dude put all of his leg into it, and it barely made it 30 yards. Oh.
They stole the field goal post. They stole the uprights and threw it in the river like a bunch of degenerates.
I like it.
Like when Bama wins. I'm the weirdo that likes it when Bama's dominating other teams just because I like seeing people pissed off because I don't care about college football.
Fair. Valid. Yeah. I really don't care other than I only look into college football when it comes to the draft.
I check out college football in the NFL offseason, and until then, I do not care.
I will watch some games, like on Saturdays. There will be a game up in the background. I'm not paying a ton of attention to it, but it'll be. I have like 90 screens in here. One of them will have college football.
See, if there's a player I really, really like, I might catch a couple of their games. Like I know I've said a couple times, I watched every Northern Illinois game last year for their fullback, and I've watched a handful of North Dakota State games for their fullback. Well, one of their 5 or 4 fullbacks, however many they have. But
are you transferring to there?
God, I wish. No, I got a funny story, actually. I saw a somewhat viral TikTok about my college, and I thought it was hysterical because we got beat in our homecoming game. So
Ouch.
2 of the third stringers for the other team, not the starters, the third stringers. Somebody checked. One guy had, I think, 4 snaps in one game, and the other guy had like 6 total across 3 games. They made one of those James Draws videos where it's like, Frostburg State, how do you lose? And then whatever their university's name is, and went off about it. And it had like 100,000 likes, not views, likes. That's like, damn, this might be the most relevant Frostburg has ever been, and it's for the third stringers from some team like 3 states over that I've never heard of.
Pulling a wee hoopin'? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think James has overtaken it. I don't think it's a wee hoopin' thing anymore.
I don't care.
I gotta care about James. He's gonna end fantasy football AZ's career like that tweet I tweeted. That's definitely going to happen.
Gotcha.
You know how crazy I would go if that happened.
I don't know what tweet you're referencing, if I'm being
My
honest.
God. Okay, so you know how he does that after every game now?
Yeah.
Every primetime game. Well, Fantasy Football AZ put out this big post where he was like, I've fallen off. This is my legacy game. These are my legacy bets, and it was for the Broncos-Chargers game, and he whiffed on all of them.
He didn't hit one?
No, not a single one. So I tweeted out and I said, how funny would it be if James came on and asked him how he lost his money? That
God.
would
Fantasy
be the best
football
thing TikTok
AZ,
has ever
what
produced.
happened? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Would be the best thing that clock app has ever produced, by far.
Damn, I see how it is.
Listen, that's including myself. That's not a diss at you. I just think anything ending fantasy football AZ would be great.
It's the best thing that came out of the clock app. I guess our friendship doesn't count. You know what? Fuck you. I'm done. I'm storming out.
It's your podcast. What do you...
I don't know. You'll handle it.
Your own podcast. Oh yeah, and I'm
pulling an Antonio Brown. Deuces. That's a terrible joke to make. We're gonna walk that back and talk about the team who would have the second pick.
Remember when I would do that on your podcast and you got sick of that like 3 times into it?
Well, yeah, because you just kept doing it every time.
I know, I like to beat a dead horse. Yeah. What do you think I keep talking about fullbacks? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm kidding. So the Raiders would have the second pick. What do you think they do? If they do end up with the second pick, do you go Anderson or do they take a QB?
They don't take a QB. Derek Carr's fine.
Josh McDaniels might be the dumbass, though, who goes, it's not my guy.
Listen, if the Raiders are picking second overall with that team, Josh McDaniels doesn't have a job at the end of the year.
I don't know. The Raiders are pretty dumb. Have you seen Mark Davis? Have you seen his haircut? We're trusting that man to make good decisions.
I don't know. I mean, they fired Gruden.
No. Technically, they parted ways amicably because I think Goodell called them and was like, "You gotta fire this motherfucker." And Mark Davis was like, "Well, he's my friend, so we're just gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell him he's not the coach anymore, but I'm gonna make him think it was his idea." And I think that's what happened.
Gruden probably did think it was his own idea.
Yeah, I think if Goodell, I don't think the Raiders wanted to fire him. I think Goodell stepped in and said you had to.
Most likely, yeah. I don't think the Raiders gave a shit.
Yeah, no, I really don't either.
It's the fucking Raiders.
Right?
I don't think they cared either.
Hey, the Raiders aren't that bad. They're not great, but no NFL team is, let's be honest. So, the Raiders aren't one of the bottom tier ones, you know? They're not the Browns.
They're not Cleveland. They're not
Denver,
Buffalo,
technically.
Denver.
Oh, why is Buffalo at the bottom? What do I not know?
Forgetting the punter that they drafted with the knowledge that he was involved in.
That's valid. Yes, I did forget about that. Yeah, okay. The Lions at 3, that's where CJ Stroud goes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I
don't want them to have a quarterback.
I want Stafford to go back to the Lions and win them a Super Bowl.
I want Goff forever.
Well, do you? I mean, they do have the best offense in football with Goff.
Yeah, but it's Goff. It's funny.
Okay, but it's weird.
I like it for the comedic value because Jared Goff is running a competent offense right now, and I think that's hysterical.
Okay, but you also have to think of this. Jared Goff has been the quarterback for one of the teams in 4 of the NFL's 16 highest scoring games. Is Goff actually bad? I genuinely don't know anymore.
This season doesn't make any sense.
But it's not just this season, though. It's always been a thing. Goff will be terrible, and then suddenly he's great. Then he'll be terrible, suddenly he's great.
I don't know.
Has Dan Campbell maybe the one who can keep him on the great and narrow?
They all want him fired. Everybody wants Dan Campbell fired now.
I've not seen anyone say that, and I hope I never do. I will freak out.
I mean, I've seen some people that I respect being like, I think we need to have a conversation about him, and then I've seen Lions fans being like, I want him gone. He's holding this team back. He's the reason our defense sucks, blah, blah, blah. So...
Do they not realize he's not a defensive coach? That's what he hired, Aaron Glenn for?
I don't know, man.
Weird.
They're football fans on Twitter. Do you expect them to use their brain?
I don't know. But also, I mean, it would be a very Lions thing to do. Fire Dan Campbell the way you fired Jim Caldwell after just taking you to the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. All you've done as a Lions fan is see Dan Campbell make your team actually respectable. But yeah, after 2 years and him still having maybe the least talented roster in football, yeah. Yep, fire him.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, God, I just realized they haven't even had Jameson Williams yet this year. Nope. That offense is going to be Gross.
Dude, yeah.
Oh no.
Here's what I know about Jameson Williams this year.
Season.
He's my favorite receiver to use on Madden right now.
Of course he is. You disgust me.
He's got 98 speed.
I can use an 86 speed receiver just fine. Thank you very much.
So, dude, I don't play against people. I play against the CPU, so like speed is fun.
I do the same thing, but I don't need speed to be good.
Speed is fun. I would still clap you in Madden. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. You can't defend fullback dive every play.
Promise you I can. I'll just run field goal block every play.
Yeah, wait until I whip out the fullback toss. Then you're cooked.
Nah, because Harrison Smith will still be on the outside. He'll cook your fullback. It'll be great.
I won't have Aaron Rodgers at fullback. Harrison Smith can't beat him.
Texans.
The only thing he's done. Hold on, is that the only thing he's done so far this year in terms of like big plays? Is pick off Rodgers? I haven't really paid attention.
Harrison Smith has kind of been that dude this year again.
Good.
Now he did have an injury during the Eagles game, and then he missed whatever was right after that. I don't remember. My brain doesn't want to.
Was it the Bears game right after?
No, maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember seeing him even in the Bears game.
All right, I'm trying to find a stupid Pro Football Reference page. There we go. Jesus, that was dumb. Against Chicago, he did play. So I don't know who we played in Week 3. Oh, the Lions. We played the Lions and didn't have him. Because Josh Metellus, the guy who stepped in for him.
That's how you say his name?
Yeah, Metellus.
I always thought it was Metellus.
Okay, I go by what I hear Paul Allen say, the home broadcaster for the Vikings. So I base my pronunciations of our team off of
referring to the character from American cult classic film American Psycho.
No, sorry, no. I was referring.
I just watched that for the first time the other day, so that's just like in my head right now.
All right, now go listen to the rap song that was wrote about it. Am I a Psycho? By Tech9, B.O.B.
That was written about that movie?
Well, that movie, fuck. So each of the rappers is supposed to be a different horror movie character.
Didn't know that.
Hobson is from I think. I believe
I gotta go re-listen to it because I've heard that song 100 times.
I love that song. But Harrison Smith this year, he has 2 interceptions, 4 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, no sacks yet, surprisingly.
No sacks, Jaquan Brisker solos. I'm afraid.
But he also has 27 solo tackles, 34 combined.
Yeah, Jaquan Brisker is still better. He has 2 sacks at least.
Does he have any interceptions or any forced
fumbles? 6 almost interceptions and a fumble recovery. He definitely has passes defended.
But yeah, Harrison Smith is like back on that Harrison Smith game.
Okay.
We love to see it. He actually had an interception this week, I believe. Or last week, I guess, against Miami. Yep, he did. I think he got Teddy.
I was going to say off Skylar Thompson. That's such an accomplishment.
No, I think he got Teddy. Yeah. Dude, I feel so bad for Teddy again. All I see people talking about that game is like, oh, it's Teddy's fault we lost. Teddy kept getting you into scoring position, and then Jalen Waddle decided to hand the ball away. Stop blaming Teddy for your receivers turning the ball over. Even both of his picks were off of the hands of wide receivers. No, the Pat Pete one. Pat Pete just made a play, which is funny because they cut to a video from. I saw it on TikTok. The TikTok team for the Vikings recorded Pat Pete saying, "Watch this drive. I'm gonna go get one," and he did, and I love it. He called his shot, and that's good stuff. Love watching a guy call their shot. Did you see the TikTok I made today?
I did not.
I decided to be that toxic Vikings fan just one time.
Oh, no.
I saw a tweet talking about OBJ to Minnesota. So I made an entire 3-minute long TikTok about it.
3 minutes?
Oh, dude. Well, so I went in depth at why this is a move we should make. Because Justin Jefferson's getting double and triple teamed every play. We've been banking on KJ Osborne and Adam Thielen to get open. KJ can't. He's struggling. He cannot seem to get open at all. Adam can get open, but either Kirk can't find him, or since he is the most penalized receiver, like not outgoing penalties, but like incoming.
Right.
So more pass interference, holding calls, all of that have gone to Thielen than any other receiver in the NFL. So it's not that he can't get open. Teams are literally doing everything they can to not let him. So we're just going to tackle him at the line of scrimmage. He's just getting bullied. So yeah, go get a real second threat. A real one.
Everything I saw about Vikings fans wanting Odell was just straight up Adam Thielen slander.
No, I actually watch the games, unlike other Vikings fans.
I know you do, but I'm saying that the idiots out there were all like, well, Thielen's old and washed and can't play anymore. We need an actual receiver alongside Jefferson, so the almighty alpha male Kirk Cousins has somebody to throw to.
No, I just think, imagine Kirk as your wide receiver 3 and KJ Osborne as your 4. Who's stopping that?
Is your wide receiver 3?
No, KJ and Thielen, and I don't know who I'm talking about. My brain just broke. Nobody clip that shit. If I see this on Twitter, I'm burning things down.
Listen, speaking of Kirk, have you seen the recent Nick Adams tweets regarding the almighty alpha male Kirk Cousins?
God. No.
Pretty much all you need to know. He just called him an alpha male, and then during the bye week, he said they forced Kirk into something called a bye week, so I will be boycotting this week of NFL games.
Nice. Oh, did you see drippy Kirk Cousins, though, with his new chain? Kirk bought a chain.
It made me want to rip my eyes out. It was the cringiest thing I think I've ever seen.
Kirk Dripson.
Listen, okay. That image of Kirk,
it's terrible,
reminded me of like middle-aged white dad finds out his son dating a black girl, so when she comes over, he dresses like that to try to relate to her.
Oh no.
And that's all I could think.
Oh no.
That, or like Jefferson and all of the other guys on the team thought it would be funny to make Kirk dress like that so they could laugh at him.
I can't remember who it was,
one or the other.
After the London game, someone gave them their chain.
Oh, no.
It might have been Christian Darrisaw.
Dude, they're just making fun of Kirk at this point then. They are totally doing it to make fun of Kirk.
Maybe. Kirk's not smart enough to figure that out, though, so it's okay.
Right, and if that's the case, I just gained respect for every player on the Vikings not named Kirk Cousins.
Because, yeah, I think it was Christian Darrisaw after the win in London gave him his chain, and then
oh my God.
Kirk got one himself, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, like I've said before on Twitter, I don't think I've ever said it on your podcast. I do believe that Kirk Cousins is a cuckold.
I could see it.
That man definitely enjoys watching other people sleep with his wife.
I could see it. You know what I do know? I saw a picture today of Justin Jefferson hanging out with Adam Thielen's kids. I thought that was cute as all hell.
Well, that was
all wholesome. I loved it.
Jefferson hanging out with the only white guy on the team he cares about.
Hey, that's not fair. Harrison Phillips exists. And Harrison Smith.
You guys have like 4 white guys, that's right.
Yeah. And like both are punter and kicker, but like 90% of those are, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to take any shot at Kirk I can
valid.
at this
That's
point.
valid.
Like,
No.
I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm just thinking, how can I slander Kirk?
I don't think Vikings fans are ready for when I get back from this trip. And even though by that point we're going to be like 7-1 or 8-1, they're not going to be ready for the film review I put out about Kirk Cousins, talking about how this is literally the worst we've ever seen him play on a game-to-game basis. Now, we've always had the, Philadelphia games where it's an outlier and he's just dog shit.
Oh my God,
Kirk's
I loved
almost
every
never dog
second
shit.
of that game.
Kirk's almost never dog shit. He's never great either, but he's never that bad. But that's been the thing this year. Everything he normally does well, he can't do. It's bad. Like, yeah, I have a whole... I really wonder if that's going to be an hour-long video.
I haven't said it publicly just because I know I'm going to get flamed for it. But like his game against Chicago wasn't impressive. I don't care that he started 14 for 14 or whatever.
Now, if he kept the pace of the first quarter up all game, fucking crown him then. But like the first
not
quarter,
only did he
great.
fall off. Well, not only did he fall off, but he was playing soft coverage the entire first quarter and was just hitting underneath throws and the occasional busted coverage to Jefferson like 10 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how sad it is to say busted coverage and then 10 yards downfield in the same sentence?
Yeah.
I think that's the epitome of Kirk Cousins. Like, ooh, Jefferson's wide open. Quick, run a curl.
Run a curl. Yes. God damn it.
Oh my God, it was so bad. And then in the second half, Jefferson had 15 yards total, I think. Like Chicago's defense said, oh, okay, we have to cover this guy now. Right. And then Kirk was like, fuck, what do I do?
Kirk, for some reason, forgot that he has other receivers outside of JJ. I don't understand.
Dalvin Cook was the only guy to really get us in the second half.
Well, he keeps trying to make Irv Smith work, but Irv can't seem to catch. Take my hands. Apparently, they'd be better, dog. What?
Better.
Komet is not better than anyone.
That's been solid this year.
Yeah, on his 5 times he's been allowed to run a route because he's so untrusted by his team that they don't let him run routes.
Not that he's untrusted, it's the fucking line that's untrusted, and they have to keep guys into block. Komet's a damn good blocker.
Well, if Komet is supposed to be your 1 or 2 as your receiving options and you never use him, I don't know, that's not a good look. You could take Equanimous St. Brown out of the game and add another tight end to actually stay in and block.
No, because they suck. Did we not see
Put in Alex Leatherwood as a tight end then, you fucking moron.
Just got in a car accident, so I don't even know if he can play.
No, I'm just saying,
that
put an offensive
an
lineman in as a tight end. You can do that. I get it.
They can, but I don't think they trust it. Listen, let me put it this way.
Bears coaches aren't smart enough to figure this out. I get it.
If they haven't made a change up front yet, I really don't think they want any of our depth linemen to see the field. With how bad Mustipher and Lucas Patrick have been in particular, our backup linemen must be fucking D3 middle school level. No way. You signed Michael Schofield, you signed Riley Reef. Schofield's gotten a couple snaps when I think Tevin got hurt in the last game for a drive.
Jenkins is playing guard now, right?
Yes, and he has been fucking incredible. He is awesome. Listen, I don't want to take a victory lap yet, but I've said for months and months and months, Tevin Jenkins can be a good tackle, but he can be an all-pro caliber guard. He is a guard. The whole left tackle thing Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy wanted to do, bullshit. That's not him. He is a run-blocking first offensive lineman. He cannot be a blindside tackle. Now, right tackle, your anchor, sure. He can be serviceable. But you put him at guard and say, hey, run out there and hit somebody, he's going to fucking do it. And he's awesome at it. He's I don't want to cite PFF, but that's the only grading system we have to go off offensive linemen. He's their 12th highest rated guard across the entire league.
Not bad.
He had a 4-game stretch where he didn't allow a single pressure. He's been fucking incredible. And when you watch him on film, he's just the mauler he was at Oklahoma State. So he is the only bright spot on our offensive line. Larry Borum is fine. I think he's more of a swing tackle. He shouldn't be starting. Patrick needs to be playing center. Whatever the fuck he's doing at guard is not working. He had a hand injury going into the year, which is why he's not playing center. And I'm starting to think that hand injury may still be lingering because he's looking like he doesn't want to grip defensive linemen under any circumstances with one hand. So I'm thinking that's still fucked up, but they're making him play through it. Sam Mustipher is probably not worthy of being on a roster, let alone a starter, but we don't have any other options. And also he has good chemistry with Justin, and he's good at making line calls, and with Cody Whitehair out, they don't have any other option, which Cody Whitehair, before he got hurt, was fine. And then Braxton Jones, the rookie tackle, he's been what you'd expect out of a rookie 5th rounder. It's been so rough, but Justin Fields is the problem.
Oh yeah, he
sucks.
Well, he must be the problem because your coaches are making him the problem. Because I'm sorry, I already forgot your offensive coordinator's name.
I see.
He's a dumbass. He's bad.
I agree. I'm
sorry. Eberflus, you should have seen enough to know already. Fix it. because I'm not saying Justin Fields can't be a pocket passer. But,
right. I think we're in the
Sherman,
same boat with that exact statement.
They were right. You need to let him use his fucking legs. He's
is
more
no world where
confident when he gets to do that.
There's no world where he should be taking 5-7 step drops. That's not him. Like, I talked about it on TikTok the other day, and I talked about it on Twitter after the game. If you have a mobile quarterback like that, you see it with every other mobile quarterback. If you want a route to develop downfield, instead of dropping him straight back, run him out of the pocket. It has the same fucking effect. You're just avoiding pressure long enough for routes to develop. And the thing is, like, with how bad our receivers are right now, nothing's going to develop anyway, so what's the fucking point of going downfield? But even if you want to do it for the intermediate game, because that still takes a little bit of time to develop, he kills it when they run him on bootlegs. Mm-hmm. He kills it in play action. More of that. I understand you can't do it every single play, but he's fine on 3-step drops. Three-step drops, a quick drag, a quick slant, let him build up his confidence. Works perfectly. But when you're expecting him to drop 5-7 steps back and deliver a strike down the field, he can do it, but with the people around him right now, it's not going to develop the way it needs to. And that's the thing. Receivers aren't getting open. The offensive line can't hold their blocks. It's partially Justin's fault because he does panic at times, but I don't blame him.
No, Trevor Lawrence still panics sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I think we've all seen how good Trevor Lawrence actually is. I know people are still trying to come out here and say, oh, he's actually really bad. He's bad. He's awful. He's
fumbled 4 times.
He's still on the Jags. But I mean, are we forgetting that literally a week ago we were all talking about how the Jags were going to win this division? Then they have
Trevor Lawrence was
a bad game
already
against the Colts, and who have a good defense and veteran leadership and whatever. And we're acting like now the season's over for the Jags, even though they're like a game behind the division lead now. Like, there's a lot of football left. And Trevor, this is his rookie year, if we're being honest. He's got to take all of last year and chuck it in the trash. Absolutely. What scares me about Justin Fields, and it genuinely scares me because it'll piss me off, but I am kind of worried that Poles and Flus, by the end of the year, will be like, he wasn't our guy, we don't love the fit, and we're moving on. And that'll piss me off, because if Chicago really traded ahead of us to get Justin Fields and then throws him away after 2 years, I'm burning Soldier Field to the ground.
Listen, the more the season goes on, I really don't think that's going to be the case.
I hope it's not.
Because we've seen Justin get better every week. Like, for all of his faults in that Commanders game, that throw to Pettis, the single touchdown we scored, was a thing of fucking beauty. Yep. Not only that, but if you watch it on tape, that was a result of him picking up the defense. They had 12 men on the field. He was able to identify that, which he probably wouldn't have done 2 weeks ago. He was able to identify that they had too many men on the field. He dropped straight back, knew he had a free play, and just let it rip. And by the grace of God, Dante Pettis actually caught a fucking pass for once. Like,
no. If you look at all the TikTok and Twitter comments, he was out of bounds. Because people are blind and dumb.
Oh my God, they can suck my left nut. I don't give a fuck what those comments say. Justin delivered a beautiful ball.
It was funny as fuck because I called it. I was like, see, right here's where we're gonna get the weird flash from Justin Fields, and he makes that throw, and I was like, fucking told you. Now he's gonna suck till the fourth quarter. Just wait. And that's kind of what happened. Except the run came right after that. But
yeah, and that's the thing too. Not only do I think he's getting better every single week, but when you see those big splash plays, you don't think, well, that's not sustainable, because it has been. Even in his worst games, he breaks off a fucking 40-yard run or hits a 50-yard bomb down the field.
Yep.
Down-to-down consistency where he's failing, and that is a result of, as I've said, lack of talent up front, lack of talent around him, and lack of talent at head coach. Yep. Now, I will give Luke Getcha his credit. Beautiful run game coordinator. He knows how to drop a run like second.
But I have another question about that, though. Does he? Or is it the fact you have 2 really good running backs, and for as bad as your O-line is, they're weirdly good at run blocking? And I'm not going to give all the credit to a coach who can't figure out anything else on an offense.
Trust me, I'm not giving all the credit to him either. I mean, it would not be executed as well if we didn't have a top 10 back, a top 10 backup back, a top 5 fullback, and a really good blocking offensive line, as well as good blockers at receiver and tight end.
Yep.
Fully aware of that. But, and I'm going to be honest, I'm no offensive line guru. I don't know all the ins and outs of the schematics.
I'm not either.
Right. But when I listen to people that do, and when they talk about Getcha, a lot of it does seem to be the way he's scheming guys to block and the way he's scheming guys to get in certain positions. Because it's, I raved about it all offseason. It's this wide zone, Shanahan-esque running game. And a lot of that does rely on whoever is running it to know what they're doing schematically. So Getcha is doing that. And I think he would develop a fine passing game if he would just let Justin get out of the pocket more. That's all we need. We just need Justin to get outside of the pocket. You need to let him play comfortably. I see what Getsy's doing, and Justin does have the ability to play that way, but he's underestimating the lack of talent around Justin. That's the problem. And, you can say that's a fireable offense for an offensive coordinator. I wouldn't disagree. You need to know the talent you have on your ball team. But I do think if somebody could just knock him in the fucking head, which I think after our bye week, Eberflus is going to bring him in, and they're going to have a long talk, because Eberflus seems very happy with...
can knock anyone in the head. Dude's corny. I don't like the dude.
This isn't corny.
Yeah, when he was announcing the captains, he literally is afraid to cuss, and that's the corniest shit I've ever heard. We're going to freaking run this ball down their throats, we're going to be a really good team. Dude, everything he says and the tone of his voice, I don't know how a team can follow that guy. To be fair, I mean, this is what you get when you hire the only coach you interviewed just based off... I know. They interviewed more than just Eberflus, but all based off whose recommendation? Who's the reason he got hired?
I honestly don't remember.
Bill Polian, who hasn't hired a good coach since Tony Dungy back literally 20 years ago. Polian hasn't made a good decision for 20 years, but that's the guy we're going to trust. Instead of, we interviewed KOC, we interviewed Dable, you even interviewed Mike McDaniel, but you ended up with Eberflus.
Listen,
that's the most Bears move I've ever seen.
Listen, I don't dislike Eberflus. I think Eberflus has done a fine job establishing a culture in Chicago, and that was the biggest thing for me.
So here's what I want to say. I gotta insert this. When we're talking about coaches who've established cultures from this rookie group, Flus isn't one of the best at it. Dable did better. KOC did better. Even the thing he did the best, all of the other guys outside of Hackett, and I'm not counting McDaniels, he's not a first-year head coach, but even if you want to count McDaniels, those are the only two that are worse.
Listen, I don't think Flus is a bad coach by any means. It was a very good class of coaches, and I understand that Chicago whiffed by not getting McDaniel, Dable, whatever. But I'm not upset with Flus. I am perfectly okay with Flus. I think Flus is a good head coach. I love what he's done with our defense. I love what he's done with the effort that this team has, because that has been my biggest complaint in Chicago for years. The team has no heart. It has no effort. Eddie Jackson, who I've bitched about for 3 years now, having no heart and no effort, he's playing at an all-pro caliber fucking level right now. And not only that, but my biggest issue with him, where he doesn't wrap up, he doesn't get in front of ball carriers, he's done that and then some. Did you see what he did to Terry McLaurin this week? He would have never done that under Matt Nagy. Oh my God, he flew and fucking hit him like a missile, and Terry spun around and the ball flew out and he had to catch it again. 3 years ago, Eddie Jackson would have been like... and missed.
He would have done what he did against Minnesota last year and just literally stopped running and just watched the play happen. When it was the guy he was supposed to be covering. I use that GIF way too much when replying to you.
If he did that under Eberflus, he wouldn't play for 2 weeks after. That's the type of coach Eberflus is. He's old school, he's no nonsense, and he's all about effort and intensity, and that's what this team needed. Now, we probably need somebody who's a little, more modern for the offense. That's what Getcha was supposed to be, and he's trying to make Justin into a quarterback he isn't, like I've said. I do think once there is talent around him, which I am very confident that Ryan Poles will find, because what anyone says, Ryan Poles is a good GM. I agree with more decisions than I've disagreed with. In fact, the only big complaint I have with him is not trading Robert Quinn in the offseason.
Yeah,
but
because
even
now
then,
his value's awful.
But part of me thinks that's probably why he didn't deal him, is because he wasn't getting the offers he wanted. So now it's like, I don't know.
But if you wait, it's only going to get worse, because this is Robert Quinn's track record. He's been in the league 12 years. He's had 2 good seasons. He's never going to have another good one. You should have traded him while you had a chance, especially because he's, 34?
Yeah. I completely agree. Like I said, I completely agree. That's my biggest gripe with Poles so far. But like I said, if he wasn't getting blown away by an offer, Eberflus was like, look, I want this guy's presence. I think he can be a good leader. I think he can be a good guy for some of the younger defenders here. Sure. I understand it. Okay. I get the mindset. I don't fully agree with it, but at least it's something I can comprehend. This isn't like Ryan Pacer where like, hey, Robert Quinn, who's already 30 years old, here's $70 million.
I mean, that contract didn't age that bad. He is like a Bears legend now. So
yeah, I mean, 1 year.
Yeah, but he's still, you can never not bring up his name.
4 or 5 years.
For what?
For 4 or 5. He paid him $70 million over like 4 or 5 years, and we're getting a year and a half out of him.
Yeah. Welcome to contracts in football. When's the last time there was a good contract given out? Let's be real. I guess as of right now, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes contracts are great. Based off what every other quarterback's getting in comparison to how they play, yeah. Those aged well.
Either way, my point is, you can say whatever you want about Eberflus not being the best head coach out of this group. I'm not going to disagree with you. You can say what you want about Getcha being a bad offensive coordinator. Not going to disagree with you. But I'm happy with the results so far as a whole. Like, yeah, I there's some things I wish were different, but we're 2-4. The team that was supposed to win 2 games according to everybody, and Justin Fields has gotten better every single week. So
I wonder if
really asked for.
If my bigger issue with it is just like both of our teams were looking for head coaches this offseason. But we're in very different situations, I guess. So like the Vikings needed their head coach to come in and right the ship completely and then win us games. Like that's all we're here for. We have a roster built to win. Whether you trust Kirk to do that or not is your own fucking bullshit. But we have a roster. How many teams in the NFL have a better roster than Minnesota? 2? Like overall, 2?
2.
The Bills and the Eagles. Outside of that, I don't know if anyone has a better overall roster than us. So, like, we need to compete. Like, I genuinely believe an NFC, not making it to the NFC Championship game would be a disappointment for this team.
Oh, absolutely. With how the NFC's been so far.
Oh, God, yeah.
Are garbage. The Buccaneers are beatable. They're tied with the fucking Falcons right now for their division.
At least for the Vikings, we haven't lost to the teams we're supposed to beat. We lost to a team we probably should have lost to. Like, at least we're beating the guys we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Now,
there's like 3 good teams in the NFC right now. Minnesota's one of them. So
I think maybe I'm just working from a different perspective of like, you're supposed to win and make your team look way better, and the Bears don't look a ton. They look better. Don't get me wrong. Better. Especially defensively. The offense is still a mess. I can't blame that all on coaching because talent isn't there. I'm sorry. At this point, I genuinely think Darnell Mooney is closer to KJ Osborne than he is a wide receiver 1.
I don't know. Mooney's weird to evaluate right now just because of everything else going on, because he's a wide receiver 2 that teams are double teaming. Like
that's fair.
it's hard to evaluate him right now. Unless he's a deep threat. Yeah. And he doesn't have the ability to get open deep. Mooney isn't a guy that's going to run a bunch of fucking slants and get hit over the middle. He's not built for that.
Right.
You send him deep, you run him on a drag, you use him on screenplays. He's I was going to say gadget guy. That's the complete wrong word for him. He's a complimentary receiver.
I mean, we watched him drop the game-winning pass, so I don't think he's the catch-it guy.
No, I was saying gadget.
I heard catch it. I was like, that dude can't catch. That's another problem with the Bears. Nobody can catch.
Yeah. And that, I hyped up Getcha all offseason. He was the guy that helped Devontae Adams learn to catch. And he was.
I think we're learning more and more how fucking important Aaron has been to everything about the Packers. Love him or hate him, I don't know how many guys on the Packers are any good without Aaron being their quarterback, including Devontae. Now
Tay's been fine when he's not assaulting cameramen.
No, my bigger point was, does Tay ever get to this point without Rodgers? I don't know.
Not, no.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a tough scene for Packers fans, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Oh, me too.
Oh.
You know how happy I was that I picked the Jets over the Packers, and I was right.
I didn't, but I wanted to. I've been doing that a lot this year, where it's like, I have this weird feeling this team's going to win, but I can't pick them because that's really dumb. And then my record looks like shit every week. And it's like, fuck. I knew it. I knew.
My big thing, too, is I don't typically check the Vegas odds for the games beforehand. Right. Some guy on one of my posts once was like, oh, you picked all the teams that are favored. How fucking smart of you. And I was like, okay, buddy. I'm going to be right. Good team beat bad team. It's pretty simple.
This year, it's not so simple. It doesn't make sense.
Typically, yeah, it's weird. But on the bright side, I have gone 8, 9, and 7 every week picking games because of it. So everything's basically a coin toss. A flip of a coin.
I wish the website I use to do my picks, because it's like a radio station held thing, it's a competition, and that's where I make my picks and then do videos off them. This year as a whole, I'm 49, 44, and 1. Everybody has that 1 at the end. Don't worry about it.
I was told I can't use the 1. I have to count it as a loss because I got it wrong.
No. Because you didn't get it wrong.
That's what my comments told me.
Because when you predict the Colts to win, you're also predicting the team they're going against to lose. That team didn't lose. So therefore, you're not wrong. You weren't right, but you weren't wrong.
So that would mean I am 52, 41, and 1 with my picks right now. I only know that offhand because I just made my video.
You have 3 more wins than I do. Tough. Yeah. That's because when I do pick underdogs, it's been awful. I just can't seem to get it going, dog. I just can't.
Week 1 was my underdog picks, I think.
Week 1 and then this week were my 2 worst weeks, though. Because this week, you pick good team to beat bad team, and the good team lost every fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't... I guess not every time, but whatever.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
I still don't understand how Pittsburgh beat Tampa.
How did Atlanta beat San Francisco?
Arthur Smith.
How did the Jets beat the Packers?
The Jets are good. Nobody realizes it. The Jets have a good football team. They have a good ball teim. They have a good ball team, and the Packers
Wilson
don't.
At quarterback. We want to talk shit about a second-year quarterback.
Listen.
I want to go.
They don't need Zach Wilson. Who cares who's at quarterback? They have Breece fucking Hall.
That's valid.
Breece, my RB1, my boy.
Hey, don't worry.
My Matt Forte 2.0.
The guy whose train I was on very early, Sauce Gardner, might be a top 5 corner already. So big ups to that one. So I know everybody at the end had Sauce as their number 1 because at the end, right before the draft, that's just what happened. I had Sauce as my corner 1 way before that because I never trusted Stingley to stay healthy. I think Stingley could be the better player, but lower leg injuries and DBs do not mix. So, I was leaning Sauce from before the college football season ended. And I'm also still really high on Kobe Bryant, and he's been playing very well, and I love it.
Has he been?
Yeah.
He's getting really overshadowed by Woolen, who I have been high on for a while now.
Because Woolen's going nuts.
Yeah, he has gone nuclear. He's been incredible.
And Kobe is not like a starter, I don't believe.
Yeah,
like
I didn't think so
he's
either.
on the field sometimes. Like, he does get snaps, but he's not like, Woolen's lining up on wide receiver ones. He's lining up on twos. He's just out there when he's out there. But, oh my God. Okay. His stats are better than I thought. He's got 14 solo tackles, 4 forced fumbles. Kobe Bryant has forced 4 fumbles. That's first in the league. Didn't know that. And then he has 1 pass defended. So.
Damn.
And a sack. He also has a sack.
Quan Brisker has 2.
Nice.
Yeah,
but Brisker's also expected to be a starter. Kobe Bryant was a 5th-round pick. Though he was the best corner in college football last year.
Love Jaquan Brisker.
I just love bringing up, Kobe Bryant won the Thorpe Award. He's the best corner in this class. I love doing that.
It's quite goofy.
All right, so we've only made it through the first 3 picks of this draft order thing I was trying to do. So we're going to go back to that after I acknowledge one last thing about the Bears game, and we're just moving on.
Oh, no.
Why are people giving Justin Fields so much shit for losing the game when he made the game-winning pass 4 times?
Because quarterback always wrong. That's how football works.
Receiver who get ball both hands, drop it. His fault, not QB. Darnell Mooney, if you just catch the ball the first time and don't juggle it, you just won the game, you stupid piece of shit.
What about Dante Pettis the play before where he was like this caught the ball like this?
Yeah, but...
I'm just saying, there were 2 drop touchdowns. Let's not throw all the blame on
I'm more
Mooney.
offended at Mooney's because Pettis had to do some weird shit, and then he also had his neck touch his knee while he was dropping the ball.
So it's supposed to catch it. That's how
not
football
always
works.
how that works.
Yes, it is.
When your back gets
I don't care if your arm comes off, goes up underneath your leg, and comes out your belly button. If the ball hits you in both hands and you don't come down with it, it's your fault.
Okay. It's never a good play defensively, huh? Just can't have
never.
that. Okay.
No, defense doesn't exist anymore. That's what the NFL has told me. It's not real. Did we watch the Denver game? Where defense wasn't allowed to be played?
That's fair.
Listen. I brought it up with the fucking. I don't mean to go on another tangent. I'll make this quick. I brought it up when they changed the overtime rules in the playoffs. The NFL is doing everything they can to discredit defense because big point equal big money, and that's all they care about. If Mahomes isn't scoring 40 a game,
to be
football's
fair,
bad.
Brady told you that 2 years ago when he joined the Bucs, and he was like, "This whole thing." Defenses are getting penalized for offensive mistakes. That's his exact quote, verbatim. This is fuck. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's awful. They don't care about defense anymore.
That roughing the passer call on Brady will never not make me furious.
And it wasn't even the worst roughing the passer call of that week. That's the worst part about it. Listen, I'm very much a Brady defender. That was complete bullshit. But it does not touch what Chris Jones did to Derek Carr.
Oh, God,
or what they did to Chris Jones.
About that.
Like
he
Derek Carr,
the passer. How was he the passer? He didn't have the ball.
It's
Derek Carr tackled Chris Jones on that one. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Listen, it was really funny when they were doing this shit to Clay Matthews, but now that they're doing it to everybody, it's a problem.
Yeah, it was.
You can do it to Clay Matthews all you want.
They also
Fuck
did it.
Clay Matthews.
Well, after the Rodgers injury, they did it to Anthony Barr. Every time he hits a quarterback, he's flagged.
Well.
All because Rodgers got tackled. I'm sorry. I still hate Packers fans because they'll talk about that oh, Anthony Barr's such a dirty piece of shit. You still see it, even now that he's on a different team. Because he was involved in the one play, was it against the Bengals, where their tight end, broke his leg?
I believe
it was Anthony Barr's tackle, and that dirty motherfucker Anthony Barr hurting somebody else again. It's dude, it's a clean tackle. He didn't do anything wrong.
It's a fucking contact sport. I hate saying this because it's really gross, but it's the truth. People get fucking hurt. It's football. Yeah. It's part of it.
It's gonna happen.
Love it or not, it's the dark part of playing a full contact sport at full speed.
It's the dark part of playing any sport. It's basketball. People are going to get hurt. It's baseball. People are going to get hurt. It happens every year, all the time. Like, now, yes, are there dirty players? Absolutely. We've seen it. Vontez perfect. But, like, just because guys get hurt when they get tackled by a certain player, just watch the play. Like the Rodgers play. At the time, because the landing full weight on the quarterback wasn't a rule, clean tackle.
Yeah.
It wasn't a late hit. It wasn't nothing. He just smacked Rodgers, and Rodgers' collarbone shattered. Weird. The easiest bone to break in your body broke. Woo.
And that was also the second time Rodgers broke his collarbone, wasn't it?
Like the fourth.
Because I know Shea McClellan got him on Monday Night Football one year. He shattered his collarbone. That is a core memory for me. I will never forget that game because I watched it by myself in my parents' room because it was like 2 days after my grandfather had suffered a really bad accident. So my dad was up at the hospital watching the game on the hospital TV, and I was watching it on our TV. And anytime something big happened, he'd call me and he'd go, "Did you see that? Did you just see what happened?" And meanwhile, his father is like crippled in the bed next to him. Sad. Sorry, that took a dark turn.
That really did. Yikes.
Okay now. My grandfather. He's good now. So it's okay. Yeah, like I said, just a core memory game for me.
No, the core memory game for me will always be. Was it this year? I can't remember. Yeah, no. Whatever year it was after Rodgers got hurt, and then he tried to do the relax thing again. You know, just relax. Yeah. And then went out and played the Vikings and got fucking demolished and just didn't play another game that year. Like, now we're out of the playoffs. That's tough. Like, that, so good. Because I remember before that game, I was thinking, we're so fucked. He's got us. He's on that different mindset, you know?
Little did you know he had just smoked ayahuasca. Or, you don't smoke ayahuasca, whatever the fuck you do with ayahuasca.
You make it into a tea.
We've had this conversation before. I knew this,
You keep asking the guy whose family is drug problems about drugs.
It's not intentional.
No, but I get it. But I do have to have that conversation with people sometimes. They're like, "Oh my God, you haven't seen Breaking Bad?" It's like, dude, I kind of like lived it. I'm good.
We had that conversation on Jake's podcast, I think.
Yeah, it's like I lived
I'm
that
pretty
once.
sure
I
was like, why haven't you watched Breaking Bad? Granted, I haven't watched it.
And then I just kind of looked at you like...
And then I was like, oh
yeah. Yeah.
Listen, sometimes this moves quicker than this. Well, it's just part of it.
Okay. How many people do what, like, I do, where they're so open with everything about their life all the time? Well, most of the time. I shouldn't say all the time. There's things you guys don't know and hopefully never will.
Secretly a woman.
No. Wish I was secretly skinny, though. That'd be sick.
just every time you turn off the camera, you just take off like a 90, no.
Like a fat suit. Like Thor, like they made,
suit.
Yeah. That'd be so sick. I'd love it.
Oh my God.
That's why I never get recognized in public, is because, I'm actually really thin.
Hair is fake. He wears a mask. The beard isn't real.
Yeah.
Not actually a Vikings fan.
Oh, no, I'm definitely a Vikings fan. It's a problem. Okay.
Good suffering Texans fan.
I mean, Texans fans deserve it.
They do.
Yeah. So, speaking of the Texans, they would have the fourth pick. Yes. Then.
So, two quarterbacks and Will Anderson probably off the board at this point.
And then a quarterback. The Texans got to go QB. They could go Levis. They could go Anthony Richardson if he comes out. Though I both hope he doesn't come out. But if Anthony Richardson does come out, I want him to be a Viking so bad. So bad.
No, imagine going from Florida to Minnesota.
Just like everybody on the Vikings?
Yeah.
Like,
it's true. You do have a lot of
weirdly like Florida guys.
You just want them to live. You just want them to suffer. That's why.
Well, we think that maybe making them suffer mentally will make them stronger and better. We're teaching them the way of the Viking.
But instead, they become Kirk's lackeys.
No, as this season's showing you, they just make fun of Kirk.
I really hope that's what's going on. Like we said earlier, I really hope this is all just one big shit show for Kirk. And then when he gets traded, cut, released, retires, whatever the fuck, when he's not a Viking anymore, they just all come out and pull a Mike Zimmer and pull Daniil Hunter and just shit on him.
Yeah, nobody liked this fucking guy. We're so sick of him. I'm so mad that Diggs hasn't been screaming about it. Like, I wish Diggs was a worse human.
I was going to say, Diggs is just a nice guy. He's not going to talk shit on anybody.
He genuinely is, and it pisses me off. I want him to, like, go at Kirk's throat. We need it.
The biggest thing he would say is, like, I think I have a better relationship with Josh than I did Kirk.
You know what I wish he would say? The Vikings would have won more had they kept Case instead of getting Kirk. Because, I mean, Diggs is the reason Case is in Buffalo now. You know those two are tight, so, like, that'd be sick. So, same with Diggs and Teddy, like, but nobody seems to want to come to Teddy's defense for some reason except me.
He's
I am that copy pasta that you see on Twitter. You know, if Teddy Bridgewater has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If he has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If he has 10, I'm one of them. If he has 1, it's me. Like, I really am becoming that guy.
Welcome, Matt. I'm still like, even though I've gotten quieter about it, just because I feel like he's speaking for himself right now.
Well, and it's also really tough because people will say what I said earlier. He only runs like 6 routes all year. Like, who cares? He's just a left tackle now.
Well, he's better than the one we have, so good for him playing a more important position.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Moving on, though. Pick number 5. This one already has me pissed. The Eagles.
Saints. God.
Dude, how? How do the Eagles do this?
What if Will Anderson falls to them at 5?
Oh, my God. I hope not.
Because, like, you're not going quarterback.
Line. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, there's that really... They don't need another DT. Well, I was going to say, I know there's, like, a crazy DT.
I could see the Eagles doing it, though.
Outside of him.
Like, Javon Hargrave, I think, could walk. Fletcher Cox could retire. If they win a Super Bowl, Cox is retiring.
Okay. Hargrave's gone. Different story. Yeah. But if Cox is like, if you lose both of them, sure. If you only lose Cox, you have Jordan Davis, who's basically just a rotational DT right now that you can slide into the starting spot. And he's just going to be insane. Like, you saw my TikTok I made about the Eagles and their rookies, right? Yeah. How none of them have played up until that point. It was like week 5. None of them had played over like 30% of snaps, and they were undefeated. Need them to.
The Eagles
fucking mental
were the definition of best player available and trade for A.J. Brown, which is valid.
Chicago needs to take the Philly method. Higgins will be our A.J. Brown.
Oh, that's cute. I genuinely think the best you end up doing is Chase Claypool.
He won't be the best we end up getting.
Well, okay, the best guy you make a move for. Drafting a guy is not making a move. That's just
It depends.
Just like with JJ, we didn't make a move. We just
yeah. But my point is, it depends on who becomes available and how aggressive Poles wants to be.
I don't think Higgins becomes available.
Right, that's my thing too. Like, I want T. Higgins to become available so bad. I doubt he does. I doubt since he doesn't extend him, they would be
out of
stupid
their options.
To not extend
the one
him.
they let leave is Tyler Boyd because he's the worst. Like, yeah. I'm not saying he's not the worst as in like
the least best.
Out of those 3, he's the worst. And it's by a large margin.
I really don't think they let T. Higgins go either.
Yeah, that would be dumb.
That would be the dream. Him or DJ Moore, and again, doubt he gets moved either.
Panthers fans are so dumb. Let's fire sale. Let's take Brian Burns and DJ Moore, both under 24 years old.
Brian Burns, I understand because you have to pay him.
You have to pay DJ Moore too, but I don't care.
Moore just got paid, didn't he?
Well, it hasn't kicked in yet. Whatever. I don't think it's kicked in yet.
Yeah,
this
is still
his rookie contract.
With Burns. So, like, if there's a situation where Burns doesn't want to come back, I get it.
I don't care. Well, okay, then maybe, but I don't think that's going to be it. If you're dumb enough as the Panthers to not take a... Money. And also, I still think there is still, for a lot of players, I don't know if Burns is one of them. I don't see him talk much. But like, there is still, we've seen it with lots of players on lots of teams, that winning here is bigger than me going somewhere else and doing it.
That could absolutely be the case.
And especially, I think it'll wait. He'll want to see who's our next coach, who's this, who's that. But like, as the Panthers, thinking, oh, we should move off this 23-year-old edge rusher who's already one of the
I don't think they have the mentality that they need to get rid of him right away.
That's what Panthers fans are saying. No, we need to move off Burns. He's 23. No, you don't. Give him a 7-year contract.
Right.
Don't do what you did with Julius Peppers and let him leave in the middle of his prime and then bring him back when he's all washed for like a Super Bowl run that you lose.
God, I miss Julius in Chicago.
God, do you remember that one weird year where you had Julius Peppers and Jared Allen, but neither of them were any good because they were both like 40?
Peppers wasn't that bad at any point in his stint with Chicago.
He wasn't Julius Peppers anymore.
He wasn't, but he
just like Jared Allen wasn't Allen anymore. Same as he wasn't
when Allen was a Husk.
When they both went back to the Panthers. I forgot that. They were both on the Bears and both went to the Panthers.
The worst was when Julius Peppers played linebacker on the Packers for a year.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was the weirdest, and he wore number 56.
Oh, I don't remember that. I swear he was still... Okay.
I remember that vividly because that was right after he left Chicago, because I think we cut him. If I'm not mistaken. We either cut him or we were just like, you can go. You're good to go, like after his contract was over. He was awesome when he first got to Chicago, man. I got so excited when we signed him.
Well, it's just like Khalil Mack. He was great when he first got there. And then, to be fair, he was never bad. Right, he was just hurt. Oh, yeah. I love Khalil Mack.
He was hurt. His heart wasn't fully in it. You could tell he wasn't going 100%, which some of that is the injury aspect of it. But you're also playing for coaches you don't respect. You're playing with guys that just aren't good around you. You're getting way too much attention. Like, listen, I talked a little bit of shit on Mac in the offseason. I still stand by what I said. Chicago needed to get rid of him because he wasn't Khalil Mack when he left Chicago. But I do remember saying when he goes to L.A., going to be Matt because he doesn't get all that attention. They have the ability to rotate him in and out. He doesn't have to play every down for them. And if he gets hurt, they can afford to let him sit.
As a defensive player, the game plan's nowhere near him. Because, like, you're not scheming your offense around Khalil Mack when you face the Chargers. You're scheming around Bosa, Jackson, James. That defense has so much talent.
Anymore.
Well, and
Jackson apparently is going directly at him.
Wait, what happened to... What is going on with J.C. Jackson? Right? I don't know what's been going on. Well, he's been bad, but he's also been hurt.
He got benched while healthy against Denver.
I didn't know that. Oh, no.
I can't remember who. Yeah. Another example of Bill Belichick make guy look very good. He leaves. Not so good anymore.
Also, remember people were trying to say that about Stephon Gilmore when he left New England. As if he wasn't already great before he got there. And then he goes to Carolina and just goes, hey, I'm still corner one. Well, he was never corner one because Jalen Ramsey exists. So, hey, I'm still corner two.
Right, but J.C. Jackson has been awful all year. It's not like it was a couple games stretch.
He didn't play for the majority of the year.
He's been on the field. He's been awful.
But I also wonder, first of all, how much of that is the fact that Brandon Staley is the worst? He's the worst.
I mean, that's possible too. Yeah, I don't know. I just like feeding pro Belichick narratives.
Well, that's
if I'm.
See, and I'm the exact opposite. I've never understood why Belichick gets so much goddamn praise. He's never won anything without Brady. He's made the playoffs one time without Brady. Once. And it was last year.
Look at the quarterbacks he got after Brady left.
He had... Okay, until COVID, Cam was playing very well. Until he got COVID.
They were winning games.
Yeah, I know. But, no, my bigger thing is...
Then he got COVID and stopped playing good.
So what is Belichick's claim to fame supposed to be? What is he the best coach at?
Defenses.
What has caused them to lose every Super Bowl he's ever lost? His defense being awful. Brady will go give him 550 and 5 touchdowns, and you lose to Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Like, Belichick's defense has never even been the best defense in football. They're just really good at, we don't give up touchdowns on the goal line. Cool. When you face a team that doesn't do that, they just beat you big, your defense is awful. And we've also seen Belichick never able to adjust at halftime. Not his defense. They just stay bad. Like, and I don't even love Brady. I just look at it how I see it, and it's like, dude, Belichick's not done anything. But then you get games like last week where you play the best offense in football, and his defense just goes, we're here now.
Yeah.
It's like, what? But then next week, this week, whoever they play is going to beat them by 50. Like, I don't understand.
They're not going to beat him by 50, buddy. They're not going to beat him by 50. Don't get your hopes up on that one.
Actually, I think I don't know who I picked.
Listen, Belichick was singing high praise for Chicago today. He was in a press conference.
I think he's trying to set it up just in case he loses. I really do. Because
every week. It's a normal
happy.
thing. Belichick,
yeah,
Belichick hypes up every team he's about to play. It's like he'll say very mundane things, but because it's coming from Belichick, people are like, oh my God, he must mean something way bigger. I mean, with Justin Fields, he was like, yep, he can extend plays very well. You always have to be aware of what he's doing on the field at all times.
The one thing I love about Belichick was it last year when we played the AFC East? Or the year before?
I believe so.
Whatever year.
It was within the last 2 years, yeah.
When we played them.
2 years ago, because I think we still had Mitch.
Okay. And he was talking about the Vikings defense. And he was like, well, this is that team. They have the one defensive back that you always, you almost forget about, but is always the reason that you lose. They have Troy Polamalu. They have Ed Reed. And it's Harrison Smith. Mm-hmm. That is the one quote from Belichick that I will always love, is because somebody's finally acknowledging Harrison. It's the same where I will always cheer on every time Rodgers talks about our defense, because who is the one guy? Well, he also brings up Eric Kendricks, which makes sense. He's been a top 5 linebacker for 10 years. So, him bringing up those two makes sense. It really does suck that Harrison Smith is in Minnesota, because he really would get talked about the way Dawkins and Reed and Polamalu do if he was almost anywhere else.
Imagine if you played in a real market like Chicago, yeah?
Nobody fucking cares about the Bears.
If you're a defender on the Bears, you get
a
lot of attention. Let's be real here.
I do want to know, what is it about Minnesota that makes it so nobody talks about us ever?
I mean, it's Minnesota.
Historically, we have the 5th most wins of any franchise. Historically, we have
in Minnesota.
I don't care.
Who cares about the state of Minnesota?
I don't want to hear it. We praise Green Bay, a town the size of my asshole.
Well, Green Bay's a little bit different because they were the team back in the day, and the team when Super Bowl started, and they had Lombardi, and they've always had a good quarterback.
Up until Dan Marino, the Vikings had the quarterback, the greatest to ever do it, Fran Tarkenton. He had every record by a mile.
Listen, I'm sure they were singing plenty of praise for Fran back in the
Nobody's
in the
ever
day.
talked about the Vikings. That's why one of the 3 Purple People Eaters is still not in the Hall of Fame.
One's not in the Hall of Fame.
I don't remember. I can never remember.
I know Chicago Bear legend Alan Page is in the Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna hit you for that one.
Chicago Bears legend Alan Page.
I think it's Jim Marshall.
What?
I think so. I'm looking.
I mean, there's still members of the 85 Bears that aren't in the Hall of Fame, so.
Well, okay, but not the whole team deserves to go. But there were the 3 big names. You know?
I mean, you look at it, Steve McMichael deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not there. Kind of the only one that I think should be that isn't, but
Fair.
He's trying to start a petition because he has ALS now, so maybe he will get in.
Hey, there you go. That'd be dope. Oh, it might be Carl Eller. I don't know which one it is. It's either Marshall or Eller, though, and that both of those is not ideal. They both should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Dude, it's Jim Marshall.
That's ridiculous. Okay, listen, this
NFL
I'm gonna sound like a
champion,
complete...
second team. He's in the Vikings Ring of Honor, but he's not.
Listen, I'm gonna sound like an idiot for a split second, just because my mind has been elsewhere recently, so it's lacking a little bit. Was Jim Marshall Mr. Run the Wrong Way? Was that him, or was that a different Viking?
I don't know. Jim Marshall.
I think it was Jim Marshall. I know it was some Viking from that era that ran the wrong way, and it was
Jim.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That still doesn't make sense. I don't care. I genuinely don't. The dude has 130 and a half career sacks.
It's because he needed 131 minimum to get in.
He also has 1 interception, 1 defensive touchdown, 1 defensive safety, so that's a problem. How do you get a safety against you on defense?
I just told you, run backwards.
I know. But, like, yikes.
He's going the wrong way.
But, yeah, oh, God. I will never understand how he's not a Hall of Famer. It will never make sense to me. He
definitely should be. It's goofy.
Because, Eller and Page are in the Hall of Fame. That makes sense. That tracks. Because, Carl Eller, he's the GOAT. Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Is legend Alan Page better?
But, dude, that defensive line is nasty. Oh, my God. I don't look back at the Purple People Eaters enough, apparently. 130 and a half career sacks for Marshall. 133 and a half for Eller. Oh, God. Before we go to Page, we're looking at the most forgotten of them, Gary Larson, who still has 40 career sacks.
40?
Okay.
Put him in Canton right now.
No, but as the literal number 4 pass rusher on your team to get 40, that's impressive. Good God. I didn't. Wow. Okay.
So what's the highest sack number there?
Alan Page. Well, 133 and a half. Alan Page with 148 and a half.
God damn it.
What?
Bring up Richard Dent, but he's got Dent. Has 137 and a half.
And then I think Jared Allen has him as well, doesn't he? Nope, 136. Damn. 136.
I think Dent's top 10 all time in sacks. He might be like 10th.
NFL top.
I don't think it's adjusted sacks. Like when they went back and added in everybody that came in before sacks were a thing.
So Bruce Smith is 1.
Obviously.
Reggie White is 2. Kevin Green is 3. Julius Peppers is 4. Chris Dolman, Vikings legend, is 5.
Strahan's up there somewhere.
Strahan is 6. Jason Taylor's 7. Terrell Suggs is 8. I did not know that. God damn. T Sizzle. DeMarcus Ware is 9. Richard Dent is 10. Richard Dent and John Randall are tied for 10th. They both have 137 and a half.
I see.
And Jared Allen is 12th. So I see 4 Vikings in the top 12. I like that.
We're more known for linebackers than pass rushers.
And the Vikings really are more known for pass rushers than they are for linebackers, so I'll take it. So, yeah, I'm down with that.
Richard Dent went to Tennessee State University. Or,
what was that culinary school Jared Allen went to?
I don't remember.
Also the preschool. God, I love Jared Allen on Sunday Night Football. Jared Allen from whatever elementary school. It's like, oh, you didn't even finish 2nd grade. All right. Greatest of all time. Love to see it. Did have maybe my favorite sack celebration of all time.
What's his sack celebration?
The stupid hog tie. He'd run back past, so he'd sack the quarterback, he'd get up, run farther back into the other team's territory, drop down on a knee and act like he was tying up a cow, bulldogging. Yeah, I don't know why, but I always loved that. I definitely didn't imitate it the first time I ever got a sack playing football. That definitely didn't happen. Definitely
never got
not.
a sack playing football.
I also definitely didn't play for a high school team called the Vikings. That didn't happen either.
Wow, you're so cool.
Our colors were black and yellow, and we walked onto the field to Black and Yellow by Wiz Khalifa every game, which was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, well, when I played in middle school,
instead of picking all of the basic bitch songs that seem to get played at every high school football game, Black and Yellow was different, so it was cool.
Well, when I played in middle school, we were blue and white, and when we walked out, some kids were still playing Madden Mobile on their phones.
Nice. Were people singing the Trace McSorley songs? I know, you're not that young, but God, that would be funny. Wearing blue and white. I just remember that line. I don't know why, but yeah. Okay, back to this fucking thing, because I want to be done, but like I was trying to get through at least the top 10. At number 6, you've got the Texans again because of the Watson trade.
Did they go receiver?
I don't know. Oh my God! If you draft, maybe the Lions are in love with Levis or Van Dyke or Richardson or what have you, or they just don't go quarterback. You never know. They could stick with Goff. They could. Like, if Goff plays the way he's played all year for the rest of the year, there's a chance they don't move off him. They say, let's get this team built and see what Goff's got. So there's a chance. So Houston could land Stroud and Njigba. Is that how you say his name? I don't know.
It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, yeah.
Okay, yeah. They could get both.
Yeah.
We've seen that's kind of the move.
While we're on the topic of Jackson Smith and Jigba, I just want to point out, any fan that says they don't want their team to draft him is just afraid that they're not going to say his name correctly and get in a lot of trouble. Because that kid is going to be a fucking superstar, even though I've seen people starting to talk shit on him for some reason.
Yeah. Because he's an Ohio State receiver, that happens. Look, it happened to Olave last year.
Yeah.
He started out the year, he's our wide receiver 1 by the time the draft came around. Jahan Dotson better. No.
Jahan Dotson's been a lot better than I expected he'd be.
He really has been. Well, but also, think about it the other way, though. Watson and a lot of, like Christian Watson, a lot of the lower guys we thought would be really good suck. And then Dotson's actually good. I still think Mechie will be really good. I'm still holding out hope on that one.
If he plays, I'm sure he will be.
I love Mechie. Yeah. Then the 7th pick is the Seahawks via the Broncos.
I was going to say they could go quarterback, but maybe they don't.
Gino's great. Gino might be the best quarterback in football. I don't know anymore. I don't get it. What are they putting in the water in Seattle, dog? I don't understand it. If this is what Russell Wilson is, then what the fuck was he drinking? Same with Gino. We know what he was. Now he's great. What the fuck? What's in that water? I want some. Then you got the Steelers at 8, the Cardinals at 9, and the Jaguars at 10. Yeah, the Bears fall down at 11.
Oh, Pittsburgh, they probably go offensive line in this situation.
They go QB. Kenny Pickett's not the guy.
Oh, don't say that around Steelers fans. He's like the highest in the league, or he's ahead of Mahomes in completion percentage or something through 3 games.
Bro, through the 3 games I saw of Mitch and the 3 games I saw of Pickett, Mitch is the better QB.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
I also haven't watched a lot of Pickett.
When the only good thing your quarterback can do is run the football, especially when you are the fan base who still continues to call Lamar a running back, I think the irony there is fantastic. But, yeah. It's awful.
I'd love if Pittsburgh drafted another quarterback. That would be beautiful. But no, I think they'd probably go O-line there. And then what was next? Arizona?
They go head coach there? They take Nick Saban.
I'm just getting ready. No, Nick Saban sucked in the NFL, remember?
He coached for 1 year.
And he didn't like it.
That's fair. Yeah, because it's
like,
not that easy.
I can't recruit my players.
Right. Well, because it's not that easy when you don't always have the best players in the world.
And you don't get to handpick said players. You have to let somebody else pick them, and you can give them some input.
Right.
If Saban isn't personally crafting the team that's perfect for his scheme, he's going to fall apart.
And see how it works, because it doesn't matter how respected you were as a head coach either. If the GM wants to go another way, he will. I'm going to call back to Mike Zimmer telling fucking Spielman, hey, keep Teddy in case I don't want Kirk. What do they do? The exact fucking opposite. And here we are. The Vikings suck.
Viking moment.
I hate watching this team. Like, I love it because, like, for once the players actually look interested. I do think a lot of our issue is we are old. Like, no, like our defense is old. That's why, like, the middle of games, we don't do good. We come out really hot, and then what happens at the end of the game when the game's close and you need a play? Every week it's been at least one of the old vets just going, no, this ends right the fuck here. Last week we got the combination of Smith, and Peterson making those plays. Zadarius Smith was on something else last week. I don't know what was going on, but, like, he would go get 3 pressures in a row, force the punt. You see him on the sideline like, holy fuck, I can't. Oh, my God. I've also seen people shitting on Danielle Hunter, which is funny. He's, like, getting pressure every play, but he's also double and triple teamed because normally he's beating a double team and then a back. They have the back in blocking Danielle.
Right.
Because you have to. That dude's crazy. I love it. But it does offend me.
Listen, speaking of concepts like that, where you have your offensive line as your first line of defense and then you have somebody backed up, did you see the clip I posted on Twitter of, I think it was against Danielle Hunter, what Chicago tried to do?
Oh, I didn't. I'm going to go find it, though.
So first of all, they leave him on an island with Cole Kmet. That was their first line of defense. And then they had Larry Borum, who is the offensive tackle, behind Kmet. So rather than being like, hey, let's put our tackle first, and then if he fails, we'll keep our tight end in the backfield, they do the opposite. So what happens is Hunter beats Kmet and then just kind of runs around Borum, because Borum cannot get his footing in front of him because he's slow as shit, and he ended up getting to Fields or forcing a throwaway or something. But he pressured Fields on the play because of it.
That's been a lot of Danielle Hunter's year. He is not getting, he's not getting the sack. It's like the end of the year, or most of the year for Max Crosby last year, where, you can tell he's impacting it, but he's just not getting the one number that, people give a fuck about.
Right.
Oh, my God. You tweet too goddamn much.
I mean, I went on a stretch where I was, breaking down every play from the Bears games, but then I was like, I'm probably wrong on some of this stuff.
That's not even what I'm looking at.
That on every
did
play.
You personally tweet out the clip, or did you find...
I personally tweeted it out.
Well, then I'm going to look through media and not tweets and replies.
Well, I mean, if you, search, you know how you can do, someone's name and search? I think if you just put,
PC
Kmet...
The web browser doesn't let you do that. You just search Twitter.
Let me find it real quick. Let me find it real quick.
I'm at least in the right spot now, so we're doing better. Because we're back before the Washington game. Yeah, we're getting there. It was just a bit of a problem. God, why do you tweet the same GIF so fucking often?
Because I like them.
Yeah, but you only use the one.
Yes.
Okay. Double agent Amir Smith-Marset.
Specifically, which GIF are you referring to?
Here it is.
The caption is, "This is why you don't leave a tight end one-on-one with a top 10 edge rusher," or something like that.
I don't know who the guy is in the GIF, but just the unfortunately you're incorrect GIF with the guy in the red jacket.
Okay, well, that was for a very specific thing. I tweeted out, first person to guess my middle name gets a follow back, and I was responding to everyone with that.
Gotcha. But I also remember what game was that? Where I sent, it was the Packers game against, I don't know who their right tackle was in that game, so I guess that's not really a valid thing, because... whatever. But Danielle Hunter's stupid spin move he decided to hit in the middle of trying a swim move. He just spins back the other way Fucking Packers left tackle just ends up on his ass. Like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know. I don't get it.
He might actually get the sack. No, he doesn't.
No?
I don't even think that's what the play was designed. I think what was supposed to happen is
like every play from this game.
Yeah. Because I was excited. The Bears played good.
Well, they didn't start off too good.
Oh, but in the second half, they played football. Yeah.
For the first half, you were like, oh my God. Okay, when I was at TwitchCon, I didn't get to watch the game. So
really?
Yeah. But I just kept getting notifications about, like, early on about Justin Jefferson. I looked, because I had made the tweet that morning of, like, Justin Jefferson is now past Randy Moss for most receptions in the first 3 years in Vikings history. And I was like, yeah, we're not 3 years in. 2 and less than a half, dog. Like, this shit's nuts. I don't know why nobody wants to talk about it. Like, they want to talk about how good JJ is, but they, like, for some reason, he's not getting brought up in the historic levels of communicate. Like, this dude's on a tear that I don't know if we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's...
So the people saying Jamar Chase is better currently piss me off.
Are there people saying that?
Still, yeah. I've seen takes of people saying Justin Jefferson's not a top 10 receiver yet.
Well, that's just goofy.
It's like, dude, I think the better argument is he's wide receiver 1. And I don't know if it's as close as people think it is anymore.
He's at minimum 3.
And I think you're goofy if you put him that low. I
don't put him that low.
Like, Adams is the only guy I understand an argument for.
I agree.
But if you look at their performance over the last 3 years and who their quarterbacks are, JJ's put up better numbers with worse quarterback. Like, that's just...
I think the only other player that I'd put in that conversation is Cooper Kupp, but I don't think I'd put him over Jefferson myself.
Right. That's why I don't get the number 3 thing, because, like, I get it. Cooper Kupp had the greatest receiver season of all time. But also... that just means he's a really good receiver, because Stafford does that every time he gets a really good receiver.
Yeah.
That's just what Stafford do. Mostly because Stafford kind of just picks a guy, and then that's just...
And I'm so glad that's been the case, because Allen Robinson is getting no attention, and that makes me so happy.
Hey, A-Rob had a good game last week.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Is that his first in a season and a half?
Yeah. But also, I think what didn't help Danielle Hunter, is he had those... So the Philly, Detroit, and New Orleans games, he didn't get a sack. So he's only got a sack in half the games this year. I'm trying to find his pressures numbers, but I hate the way Pro Football Reference lays out their website. I love them for the information they give. Horrible UI.
I just looked over that clip again, and Hunter did get the sack on the play. Because what happened is the guard fails and the left tackle fails, and Fields steps up into the pocket and evades them. It was like Wanham and it would have been Smith. Makes both of them miss or avoids both of them. And then Kmet finally breaks off his block and goes out on a route, because that was supposed to be his thing, but Kmet held a little too long. He stayed in place a little bit too long. And I did a terrible job of explaining it in the clip, by the way. Like, this is a way clearer. Yeah. But Kmet breaks off on his route, which leaves Hunter to go to Borum. And Borum is behind Fields at this point for some reason. I don't understand why you would do that as an offensive lineman. Your job is not to get protected by your quarterback. But he's behind him, so Hunter just kind of goes like, and then wraps Fields. Like, just a slight little push on Borum and wraps Fields and sacks him. So, did look like they were trying to leave Kmet one-on-one with Hunter, which is what I thought the play was. But looking back at it, it's very apparent that Borum was in the wrong place, and he was supposed to be the safety blanket behind Kmet, and just failed miserably.
Gotcha. Fair.
Because that's what happens when your starting right tackle should be a swing tackle.
Also,
I can't say that on... What?
Well, I like that you are calling a Cam Dantzler breakout game. I know we talked about it during the season preview. Like, this was, one of the I think he was your pick for the Vikings breakout player this year.
Well, I didn't do a breakout player for each team. I did per position.
Oh, that's right.
I thought out of every corner within their second or third year, Dantzler had the best chance of breaking out, and he's looked fantastic so far.
I'm so happy with Cam Dantzler right now, especially knowing we haven't seen Booth yet at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis Seen, I prayers up to the guy, first of all.
He got hurt, like, bad, didn't he?
Yeah, his leg snapped in half.
Yeah.
Like, I think he broke both bones in his shin. So, yeah, he was stuck in London for weeks.
Oof.
Like, I think he got back, like, last Monday.
Oh, my God.
Like, yeah, he was, because he had to have surgery and then rehab it enough so he could fly. And let the swelling go down enough that you can fly, because that could be an issue. But yeah, he's been really good this year. He doesn't have, like, splash plays, obviously. He did versus New Orleans.
He's a corner. You don't need to have splash plays to be a good corner. That's the whole point of being a corner. The less attention you're getting, the better you are.
Right? Like, yeah. I guess I'm trying to look. I mean, it's weird just because of the way we play defense now. Because, like, if you look at his completion percentage allowed and his rating allowed, it is so much worse than last year.
Really?
Yeah. But that's because of the way we went from Zimmer's man scheme to this new zone scheme. So even if he wasn't truly in coverage on a guy, if it's decided he was in your zone, that's
blame for it. Yep. Yeah. That's the one flaw with those kind of statistics.
Yep.
Or the big flaw. Not the one flaw, but the big one.
That's why I just look at, I've seen him on the field, and this is the best I've ever seen Cam Dantzler look. And there's genuinely an argument right now that Cam Dantzler is our corner one. He might be better than Pat Pete.
I don't think it's an argument, personally. I think he's definitely better than Pete.
Pat Pete has played a lot better than people think. And I think that all goes back to literally the first play of the year, getting burned by Christian Watson. I think that's just what it all goes back to. Because if you look at
Didn't he get burnt in the Chicago game too?
He might have. It wouldn't surprise me.
He did. It wasn't. Was it against you guys that Mooney had the ridiculous catch, or was that the week after?
I don't know. It might have been us. Mooney, crazy.
It was definitely you guys.
Was it?
Yeah, because our last game was the Commanders, and it wasn't against them.
Oh, yeah, it was the Vikings.
I'm almost positive.
Because it was that, like, 40-yard shot where... No. No.
Wasn't.
It was not Pat Pete. I'm double-checking it. I think it was Chandon Sullivan. Yeah. Chandon Sullivan, and then technically Cam Bynum... Because I saw this. Cam Bynum was, double covering him. Cam Bynum, by the time the ball hit Mooney's hands, was still 12 yards away. That was not. Right. That was the safety going over like, oh, fuck, if he catches this, I gotta get him down. No touchdown today. Did you even see the angle he takes? Because where Mooney gets up at, the end zone's right here. Bynum's here. He was like, nah, I was not. No.
Like, since we're dragging on Mooney today, I can't remember the specifics of it, but if Mooney would have caught that ball in a different way instead of going up for it, if he would have let it come to him, he could have scored on that play.
Oh, yeah. He had. Well, could he have? No.
He would have had to beat Bynum.
Well, no. So I think you're forgetting. Shockingly, Chandon Sullivan was all over him. If he doesn't go up and try to get it, Chandon can just knock it out.
Okay, I got
but because he went up, snagged it back here with one hand, it's not Chandon he has to beat. He just has to haul it in. So, which is a question, like, what's better?
He can do that. He can do that.
But he can't catch it when it's right here.
He can't catch a ball, right, but he can't do it on the fucking goal line.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'll send you the play again just so you can see it again.
I got to double check it. Because I'm only saying that because I remember somebody pointed it out, and, like, I remember rewatching it with their context, and I was like, okay, I can see what you're coming from here.
But just watching it one time, Pat Pete burned. I just want to see who all people think burned him.
Yeah, okay. Because he had to turn around for it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there is no chance.
Like, I mean, he could have just kept running and hoped that Sullivan doesn't break it up. but that was the better choice.
No guarantee. Now, he made the safe choice, yeah.
It's no guarantee either way, and I'm sorry, you get flamed if you drop it either way.
Yeah.
Even if it is Chandon Sullivan getting a hand in there, you're still going to get flamed because people will go the other way. Why didn't you just go up and get it? It's
I mean,
receiver is such a lose-lose position if we're being honest. Most
offensive positions are.
No.
And quarterback is.
No.
The way people talk shit on quarterbacks over the dumbest shit possible.
But okay, quarterbacks do at least kind of deserve it. They get the ball in their hands every single fucking play and make every single decision.
Sure.
A wide receiver, it doesn't matter how goddamn open I am. It's not up to me whether I get the ball.
Okay, fair.
Doesn't matter how good I play. I'm relying on some moron back there. That's why receivers get so fed up compared to other positions. It's truly the only position on the field where you have no impact on whether you're getting the ball or not.
Who never complains? Backs. They're the real losers.
Oh, did you see the TikTok I sent you last night?
No, I did not. I have not checked my TikTok DMs in a hot minute.
Bastard.
Listen, I have gotten on TikTok to post.
It was about Reggie.
And that has been it. Oh, was it the Diggs thing?
Yeah.
That's somewhere. Yeah, you said he would let Reggie date his daughter.
Who on your team would you let date your daughter? It's more of a question of who wouldn't I let date my daughter. Right. You know what's fucked up? When you go back to the 96 questions with Brian Robeson back in the day.
Yeah, everyone said they wouldn't let Diggs date their daughter.
Okay, but that was also rookie 5th-round pick Diggs. He might have been a different dude back then. I genuinely do think Diggs at the beginning of his career was kind of crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I think he had to calm his brain because he played receiver different. It was weird. He evolved. Let's just say that. I think the 2017 Vikings team, the NFC Championship year, I don't know if anybody would have said, I wouldn't let him date my sister. I think they all would have been like, no one cares about him. Move on to somebody more fun to talk about. In those contexts, I feel like, weirdly, everyone now would say, who would you let date your daughter? Kirk? Because he's such a fucking loser. So, nothing bad happens.
He should be dating somebody else in the process.
Okay. We're good.
Have you ever seen those mock Reddit or Twitter posts where it's like, my wife's boyfriend got me a Nintendo Switch today? That's Kirk.
Yeah, it really feels
my wife's boyfriend got me these chains, guys.
Yeah. But, all right.
Somebody on the Vikings. No, listen, there's somebody on the Vikings that Kirk's wife considers to be her boyfriend, and Kirk's cool with it. Somebody, we just don't know who. Maybe it's Danielle Hunter.
I was going to say, is it JJ?
Imagine it was JJ.
Oh, that would be so funny. Or maybe it's Christian Darrison. That's why he gave him the chain. It took a whole year for that man to seduce his wife then. 1 year. Yeah. Who else could it be? I'm also just trying to think. So, it wouldn't be Thielen. I know that. It wouldn't be Harrison Smith. There are certain guys where it's it wouldn't be them. I don't think it would be
CJ.
Justin either. No, because CJ's married.
Is
CJ's
he?
Good dude. Yeah.
Okay.
CJ also.
Fullbacks. There has only ever been one fullback that I've known of that was not a good dude. Only one.
Yeah. I don't remember. Do I follow CJ Ham's wife on Twitter?
The only one I know that's not a good dude was Bruce Miller, because he beat up an old dude. Genuinely beat the shit out of an old guy.
It's all right. We're going ham. That's all I know. We're going ham.
Did you see my post into my little Twitter private story or circle or whatever the fuck they call it?
Which one? You post a lot into your circle.
I do, but the most recent one where I got a random DM that just said test.
Oh yeah, from Kari's dad. Well, possibly
It's from
Kari's
Kari.
dad.
No, it definitely is. I checked who follows him, and it's multiple other people with the last name Blassingame.
Oh.
So either there's a weird coincidence, or it's Kari's father, because someone informed me that his dad's name is Stanley.
Yeah.
And the account is Stan_Blassingame.
Oh, do I do that? That feels gross. I'm not gonna do that.
What?
No, I was gonna DM CJ Ham and see if I could get him as podcast guest. Because if I got a fullback on as a guest before you did, that would be so fucking funny.
All I gotta do is shoot Kari a DM.
But yeah, CJ doesn't have his DMs open, and
my podcast is just kind of in limbo right now, given off the camera stuff.
His wife's DMs are open, but that feels weird, and I'm not doing that. So,
her to come on the podcast.
I mean, that would be interesting. She's a physical therapist. I mean, if there was an injury that I wanted to talk about, she'd be a cool person to talk to, like, about that. Or just injuries in general, like, because the public's really stupid. So, like, here, someone with actual knowledge, come talk to us.
Right. But, speaking of Mr. Blassingame, the DM he ended up sending me.
Oh, he DM'd you?
Yes. He DM'd the word test.
Oh.
And I respond, his dad.
No, yeah.
There's Kari and there's Mr. Blassingame. I'm being respectful.
Gotcha.
So Mr. Blassingame DM'd me, and he said test. I just responded test because I didn't know how to respond to that. So
I wish the reply would have been like, it's working.
No, it was a link to NFL.com's like yearly rushing stats. He was like, take a look at Tennessee's rushing stats this year versus Chicago, and then look at Tennessee in 2019 to 2021, and then before 2019. And he actually made a really good point, because Tennessee's rushing offense was not marginally. It was much better with Kari at fullback. It went from being like 12th in rushing yards to 2,500 rushing yards on the season and 2,600 rushing yards on the season. And then Kari goes down last year and it's like 1,500 or something.
Well, also, Derrick Henry went down last year. So this year matters more.
Let me push my narrative.
What does this year's narrative look like, motherfucker?
Second.
Okay.
Chicago's second in rushing yards total. Tennessee's not in the top 10.
Because using last year's not fair, because the actual running back there was hurt. And
important player was also hurt. The real king of the backfield.
The real king was only there for like 3 weeks. The real king was only there for 3 weeks. He wore number 8. Vikings legend. Adrian Peterson. Yeah, he wore number
8.
Yeah. Because 28 was taken by some other loser running back. And
don't give it to AP?
No, apparently. I also
maybe
just
thought he was standing up for victims of child abuse.
Well, I also just wonder if AP was just like, I don't care. Like,
very possible.
He definitely wouldn't have paid for a number the way some guys do. AP's kind of broke at the moment. So, like...
Really?
Yeah. Let me...
Did beat his kids, so...
I mean, I'm not going to defend it, but you're making it a lot worse than what it mostly was.
That's my entire goal.
Oh, okay.
I know.
It's like, yes, is what happened good? No. The way some people make it out to be, like he was literally beating the shit out of it. Like, no. It was
spanking with a switch, right?
Yeah, on the ass. It was all on the ass.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm not saying that's okay, but that is definitely a
thing
that but
it's
does
it is
happen.
A lot better than what most players do.
Right? Like, it's not like he was like punching the little motherfucker. And
it's not like his kid went to school with a black eye. He had a sore ass the next day.
Right.
It's far better than him breaking his arm or
okay, so he's not
the fuck Tyreek Hill did.
Broke. Adrian Peterson possesses a net worth of $1 million, despite the fact he's earned like 130 in his career.
Where did it all go?
I have no idea.
How do you spend that much money? That's something that baffles me with NFL players. How do you make that much money and waste it?
So in 2019, Peterson's lawyer confirmed that he was nearly broke due to trusting the wrong people with his finances. People took advantage of the motherfucker. That sucks.
That's sad. Okay, well then I'm not upset with them.
And I mean,
The
now
difference
some
between
of it
wasting your
was
money and trying
lawyer
to do
fees,
something.
but
Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure he had some fun with his money too.
oh yeah,
But if he lost a lot of money because he was trying to do the right thing with it and the wrong people got involved, that's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yep. Which is what at least it sounds like. I mean, who knows? But
like poor William Perry, have you ever seen him after he retired? He doesn't have a foot.
oh,
His foot to diabetes.
yep.
And he lives in an old shack down by the river.
Nothing
he
wrong with
did.
that.
No, but pretty sure he was broke when I saw the interview
Probably.
that I'm referring to.
Okay,
Yeah.
but also in the 80s, they didn't make nearly as much money.
No,
So
but still,
it doesn't offend me as much when a guy who's made $1 million loses all of his money compared to a guy who's made 150. Like, one of those is generational money. One of those is just like, you're kind of wealthy. Like $1 million, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
You can't even buy a house most places for that. Like,
oh man,
but Adrian Peterson, Titans legend, the real king of that offense last year.
Yeah.
No, actually, Adrian Peterson last year was tough. Do you remember he played in Seattle?
I do remember that. I forgot about Tennessee, but I do remember Seattle.
He also wore 21 in Seattle, which is...
I do remember that.
I still don't understand this, I swear. As a Vikings fan, I've never heard him called this. But on Pro Football Reference, his nicknames are All Day and Purple Jesus.
I've never heard Purple Jesus.
Like, I'm a Vikings fan.
AP, yes.
AP, AD, All Day, all of those are real.
They whip out weird nicknames.
People try to get
there.
mad at
They
me when I
do.
call him AP instead of AD. It's like, but it's
Initials are
Adrian
AP.
Peterson. And AD, at least right now, to most people, that's Anthony Davis.
Aaron Donald.
Or that. But, okay, if I just say AD and, like, AD's playing great, you're going to...
Me, that's Aaron Donald. I don't give a shit about basketball.
See, but I go... Yeah, I go...
Yeah.
Because I just
do
call
give a
Aaron
shit about
Donald
basketball,
Aaron
but
Donald.
Anthony... Yeah.
So,
Anthony Davis is not somebody I think about.
But
I'll put it that way.
Let's see. In
Bulls won
Tennessee
tonight,
last year, he had 27 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. In Seattle,
Oh,
that's
Torrey
tough.
Carter.
He had 11 carries for 16 yards and a touchdown.
Thanks.
The thing about Adrian Peterson, he scores touchdowns wherever he goes, no matter what.
Speaking of running backs that are getting a raw deal and scoring touchdowns, I got to rant about David Montgomery for a quick moment.
He just needs
Poor
to be
man
better.
is getting...
No.
He's playing fine. He is getting dragged on Twitter, and I hate it.
Herbert
Because
better. It's not true
Herbert
at all.
has more yards. No, he's not. I think I gave the most sensible take on the situation possible the other day.
That was great.
Like, Montgomery is a better running back in almost every aspect of the game.
Except
Vision,
for burst.
He's not as athletic. Right, he doesn't have the burst. He's not as young, and he's not as cheap. Those three factors are probably going to cost him his job. I hate to say it. It breaks my heart to say it, because Monty at this point probably is my favorite Chicago Bear. It's between him, Kmet, and Kari. It's a weird three-way tie. But anyways,
are we still hating Roquan Smith? I don't know what's going on with his situation.
I hate Roquan.
Yeah, but
he's bothering me.
The off the field stuff from this summer.
I haven't heard a word since it happened.
You know more about that than I did, so I was asking.
Right, it was relevant for like a week, and just poof.
So either he paid them off,
she lied, or it's stuck in limbo, like the whole Matt Ariza situation where the cops know about it and they're like, we don't want to touch that celebrity. I don't know why I keep doing this. Why is this my go-to?
Well, I don't know. I speak with my hands a lot, if you can't tell.
I do too, but I don't know why I keep going like this. Like, what am I hiding from?
You're afraid of me because I'm so aggressive.
Like, I don't know what's going on with Roquan. I do know on the field he's been an inconsistent son of a bitch. I have a video coming out tomorrow. I think tomorrow. It's in my draft.
Carson Wentz.
Listen,
Eric Kendricks would never.
Got leveled by Carson Wentz. He got juked out of his shoes by Jalen Reagor, and he got put in the fucking spin cycle by Tyrod Taylor.
Hey, don't you disrespect my boy Tyrod.
back-to-back-to-back games, and I'm making a video poking fun at him for it.
The unluckiest quarterback in all of NFL history, my boy Tyrod Taylor. I swear to God, he would have been a good quarterback had he ever been able to actually play. Because every time, look at the God, what team was he on last year?
Chargers?
No, not last. That
2
was
years ago now, wasn't it? Oh fuck!
Last year, he beat the Browns. He was like 3-0 to start the year. Where the fuck? Houston. He made Houston good. Like they were genuinely good, and then he got hurt, and then they weren't.
Yeah.
And then, well, Davis Mills, he could work. It's like you should have kept Tyrod, you morons.
But anyways, like I was saying,
yeah, sorry.
He is better in every aspect of the game other than his burst. Because of how our offensive line has been, that has resulted in yards for Herbert. He's getting these big splash plays that Monty isn't always going to get. Like, if I need a back to go out there and get me 3 yards on third down, Monty every day, twice on Sunday, right? If I want a 60-yard touchdown, I'm pitching the ball to Herbert and letting him do his thing. Fucking crazy run against Washington. Beautiful play.
You know what situation you've just explained? Dallas. Zeke is better than Tony Pollard at everything except he's slower. Like, I saw Richard Sherman say this, which pissed me off. Like, Sherm, you're smarter than this. Look at last week. Pollard had 6 carries for 86 yards. Zeke had 17 for 75. Okay. You're right. But if you cut that off, if you cut out Pollard's longest run, he had 5 carries for 2 yards. Pollard's not good until he breaks one.
And also, on top of that, what people don't consider, you have that, I'm not going to say power back, because Zeke and Monty are both not power backs. Right. But these speedsters, whatever you want to call them, elusive backs, I guess is the title or whatever.
Because they rely on their vision. They're not Dalvin Cook.
You need these guys to wear the defense down. That's what their job is. You run them up the middle 5-6 times in a row, and then when the defense is huffing and puffing, you throw out the dude with a little bit of burst, pitch the ball to him and say, run as fast as you can down the field. They're not going to be able to catch you. And that's how these guys break off these big runs. Those great fucking tandem to have. Yeah. Herbert and Montgomery could be one of, if not the best running back duo in football if they stay together.
That's why.
But I am not fully convinced that Poles wants to pay Montgomery, and that makes me so sad.
I wouldn't want to pay him either. I know you have a ton of money, but you can also, it's the running back position. You can find another guy who's just as good.
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Yeah. I don't know. You have all that money. Monty's not going to be that expensive.
It's just like I know the Vikings are letting, that could be the Bears' replacement for him. Ooh. Alexander Madison.
If we replace Monty with Madison, I'm going to be so sad.
Why? You'd have the same Monty. Duo. A Monty's kind of better. Power back. And then, which the Vikings just did the opposite of all of those teams you mentioned, where they have the really good, like, bruise. I don't want to say bruise, but you know what I mean. The Zeke, the Monty.
One cut backs is what they are.
Yeah, they went the opposite. Instead of having that be their running back 1, they were like, no. We want the speed guy as our 1, and then the more power guy as the 2. That's why Madison and Cook are so effective. It's the exact same thing. That's also why you notice throughout a lot of the game, Alexander Madison's in again. Why not Cook? 1, because we don't want Cook to get hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want Cook for the playoffs. We really do.
Not only the running aspect of things, but Herbert is a liability as a pass blocker, and you need a running back that can pass block in this NFL.
And that's
David Montgomery.
Thing. Yep.
David Montgomery is fucking elite. One of the best in the game at blocking, not only because of his instincts, but because he can hold a block as well. He can contribute on chips. He can contribute on double teams. He's fucking fantastic at it. And not only that, but he's one of the best receiving backs in the game as well. Super, super smart. That's Montgomery's advantage. He is one of the smartest running backs in football. In vision, and finding a way to get open, and picking up blocks, and picking up pressure. He is smart. Herbert, love him to death. He's good at his thing. He doesn't have that. It's not something that
mini Zeke is all you're telling me right now.
better Zeke.
No.
Better
Zeke's
than Zeke.
miles better as a pass blocker. He is the best pass blocking running back in football.
Okay, if we're
Zeke's
talking
also
specifically,
still a better runner.
I don't know if I'm going that far. Probably rooted in bias, I will admit it.
Fair.
But to me, Monty's a better runner. Pass blocker, absolutely Zeke all the way. Zeke is up there with some of the fullbacks as a pass blocker.
Like, as a pure running back, he's the best pass blocking running back in football, and it's not really close.
Like, that's one of the reasons why if Dallas wanted to put Zeke at fullback, I would be all for it.
He's one of the few running backs you'd accept.
He is probably the only running back I would accept at fullback. Him and maybe Derrick Henry.
Fair. I'm trying to look.
Zeke away, because Zeke has the fullback mindset. He's a good blocker. He's not afraid to get dirty. He has a cool name.
Their stats are like weirdly similar this year. I don't like it.
Zeke and Monty?
Yeah. Zeke's averaging 4.1 yards a carry. Monty's averaging 4.
I was told the other day by some fantasy football guy that David Montgomery is not a starting caliber running back in the NFL because his career yards per carry is under 4.
That's valid. We're not going to look at context at all. We're just going to say that's valid.
Okay. You were doing that thing. I thought you were agreeing with him for a moment. I was about to go fucking ballistic.
No, like he under 4 yards a carry is a problem, but we're not going to bring up the situation. It's just his
We're not going to bring up his bad offensive lines, his bad quarterbacks, his bad offensive coordinators, his bad coaches. We're not going to bring up any of that. We're just going to look blindly at one stat that's a complete outlier.
Well, yeah.
Not to mention Monty's also had 1,000 yards from scrimmage, I think, every year of his career.
But you want to look at somebody else who's had a horrible O-line, horrible quarterbacks, and horrible coaching? Christian McCaffrey. He's just better. I know. Is that surprising anyone? Because I guess, as long as he's healthy, Christian McCaffrey's a top 2 running back in football. It's weird, right? Like, he is just skill-wise better than everyone else.
Well, yeah.
Biggest issue, he just gets hurt.
And it's not his fault.
He's one of those guys I don't blame. Like, certain injuries, it's not an injury-prone thing. It's just
him and Saquon,
thing.
I don't blame.
Right? Like
Saquon's never had the same injury twice.
Right. If it's not repeated, it's not an injury problem. Now, with Rodgers, I would say he's injury-prone because he snaps his collarbone weirdly often.
Yeah.
If it's the same injury, or like Leighton Vander Esch and all of his concussions and collarbones, yeah, he's injury-prone. Like, being injured and being injury-prone are very different.
Not to change the topic on you, but speaking of collarbones, did you see my tweet the other day about the Raiders player?
Oh, God, no. You tweet too much, and I'm not on Twitter enough.
Somebody, I can't remember who, it was one of their defensive players, ran into one of the camera guys, and then he hit a cart, and he chipped his collarbone. He didn't fully break it, but he chipped a piece of it off. And I tweeted out, and I was like, how weird is it that this is like considered a mild injury in this sport, but it's so brutal and disgusting? Imagine how bad it would be to just chip a piece of your collarbone off.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal. Oh, so I just found this tweet, which is interesting. It's going back to your top 10s you were doing in August. I don't remember. What were your top 10 home uniforms? Do you know off the top of your head?
Offhand. Okay. I just remember Chicago was number 1, and everyone was like, ew, you're biased. Like, yeah, it's a uniform. That's the fucking point.
See, but I'm not. The Vikings aren't in my top 2. They're in my top 3.
They're gross.
No, they're great. Especially now. I don't know why. 2 things. Changing the socks from purple to white. Great move. That looks so much better, and I don't know why. Also, same thing. Making their pants in their away uniforms white again instead of being purple. Better. We actually look good. It's wild.
I don't like uniforms that are all one color.
It's not their helmets. Their helmet's purple. And they still have colors on the uniform.
I know, but the shirt or the jersey and the pants got to differentiate for me.
No, they don't. Because when you go white,
they do.
No. Like, sometimes it looks great. Other times it looks like the Vikings when they wear purple, white, purple, and it's bad.
About some yellow pants, then.
It's okay.
Let's have
the
fun
one
with it.
I say that offends people, is the Eagles have the worst uniforms in football.
Like as a whole?
Well, their home uniforms are awful. You know why? Because the green of their jersey and the green of their helmet are not the same color at all. It's not even kind of close.
Did you notice that with the Giants throwbacks this year?
Yes, and
the jersey and their helmet were different. Yeah, I didn't notice it until they played in them, and I was like, ew.
Yeah, it's always been that way. Go back to the 2002 Vikings, or the 98 Vikings. Those helmets were so dark and the jerseys were so not, and it looks awful. No, so you want my top 3 at least home uniforms?
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the tweet to you. You didn't post it in a tweet; it was a TikTok, so I don't know if you'll ever. Get there.
I'm gonna go dig for it.
But I got Panthers, Bengals, and Vikings.
Okay with that.
The Panthers.
Vikings up there.
Something about the Panthers colors just looks too good.
The light blue.
I love that blue, and black and silver is always great. That's why the Raiders go in everyone's top 5s.
Have them up. I know I had them high. I had Miami high. I had San Fran high.
One I will never understand is people ranking Green Bay's uniform high, other than if they're a Green Bay fan. But people who aren't Green Bay fans saying Green Bay has the best uniforms, those are disgusting.
Here we go. I got it. My top 10 was Chicago, San Fran, Vegas, Cincy, LA, Miami, Detroit, the Giants, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Patriots.
Wait, top 3 again?
Bears, Niners, and Raiders.
Oh, the Niners?
Love the Niners.
Are you just going off jerseys or
I mean, overall, but it's mainly the jersey. That's mainly what sticks out.
Because I don't know, I hate the Niners uniforms as a whole. And see, at least for me, I was ranking it uniform.
Yeah.
And that's why I have problems with the Vikings, is because their home uniforms are it's so much better now, at least it's close, but their helmet and jersey don't match. Oh God.
I'm sorry. I just saw one of my old TikToks that was so stupid, and they took the sound off of it. But do you remember that sound where it would be have a name, and then when someone shows up and the other person is just their name but reversed?
No, I don't remember this.
Well, the one I did, it was Alec Ingold when Alec Outsilver shows up.
Ah, yes.
Remember that trend?
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that just popped up, and it was fucking funny to me for some reason.
Don't make me go back to my OG TikToks when I didn't talk sports and I just did the stupid voice acting bullshit where you don't actually talk, you just pick a sound and you're I got some fucking stupid shit back in the day. I refuse to take it down though. It's part of what got me to wherever I go. What?
I found my favorite player on each team. I think I still stand by all of them. Well, that guy isn't on that team anymore, so maybe not.
So, the final thing here that we should... For away uniforms, though, it's really tough. I struggle more with those. But Panthers are number 1. I think their uniforms are just the best in football.
I didn't have the Panthers in my top. It would be 11 because I included an honorable mention.
Because I judged you hard. Yeah.
Also,
people including the Patriots' new uniforms should burn in a fire. Those uniforms are awful. I hate everything about the Patriots now. Why? Their old uniforms were so much better in every way.
They were better, but the new ones are still pretty good.
No, the new ones are bad. I get it. You just wanted to copy the Bills. Good job.
That's not very nice.
I'm never nice to the Patriots. I hate them with a passion.
Why
I haven't even always hated them. During the time where they were actually a dynasty, I didn't hate them. But since then, every Patriots fan is just an idiot. That's all I've learned. And it just pisses me off.
I mean, I've learned that too from that and then the Patriots.
Yeah.
Patriots fans get mad. I remember one time, it was I think it was when I was ranking the teams on how much I liked them, and I had the Patriots in the top 10. And some Patriots fan was like, "Oh, why are we so low?" And I was like, "Dog, you're in the top 10. I like the Patriots." And he was like, "Yeah, I bet you hate the Patriots." And I was like, "They're at like 8. What are you talking about?" And then there was another time where something, I think there was like a Brady debate, and I had to clarify, like, I'm not a Patriots hater, but blah blah blah. Then they were like, well, you having to specify that you're not a Patriots hater is really fake. And I was like, no, it's just that your entire fan base has a victim complex. So anytime I criticize them, I
Which
have
makes
to.
no sense.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I don't
Ridiculous.
know why you guys have never heard this, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. You were the Patriots. You wore the crown for a long time. Yes, everybody is going to find every reason to attack you. That's going to happen. You deserved that. Like, it was some bullshit. It will always be some bullshit. Just like there can never be a GOAT outside of Brady because it's impossible for anyone to do what Brady's done ever again. It will never happen. And that's my biggest frustration right now is because when we go out and talk about quarterbacks, well, they're not Brady. Nobody ever will be.
So lame.
Like,
so lame to
nobody
do.
can ever be better than Brady because 7 rings. Nobody will ever get 7 again. Do you know how many quarterbacks have more than 2? 5.
Is that really all it is?
I think so. I used to know it for sure. How many QBs have 1 more than 1?
That tweet popped off.
You popping off again? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There are 12. And 2 of them I don't think count because Jimmy Garoppolo is one of them.
Who's the other one that doesn't count?
I don't know. I don't see it. Because they said... Okay. So... Oh, there wasn't another one. So, there's 11. Only 11 have ever won more than 1 Super Bowl. Here's the answers. Bart Starr, Roger Staubach, Bob Greasy. There are 12 here. So there are 13. I guess nobody's counting Jimmy G. Because there's 12 actual ones. There's those 3, Starr, Staubach, and Greasy. Jim Plunkett, John Elway, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Tom Brady. That's it. So this whole weird, well, Aaron's not good. Aaron can't be a legend. He can't be a top 3 quarterback all time. He doesn't have multiple Super Bowls. Most people don't. Most of the legends don't. Marino doesn't. Favre doesn't.
He doesn't even have a ring.
No. And I'm sorry. This, again, team sport. Team sport. It doesn't matter how good you are at quarterback. It really doesn't. Because we've also seen Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is if the team is bad.
Super Bowl.
Right. And then you can look at other guys. Marino never won one. Tarkenton never won one. Like, genuine legends never won one. And until now, nobody's going out saying, well, they must not have been that good. People are trying to do that with Marino now, which is wild.
I saw that. We're getting to the point where players that played in the 80s are plumbers, according to the youths.
I mean, that's valid.
But listen, anytime I hear the word plumber involved with sports, I want to cut somebody's head off.
Until every ref is not a plumber, no records, nothing matters. None of the players playing now are greatest of all time. Because all of the refs are plumbers. They always have been, always will be. Actually, this year's refs are what plumbers take care of. They're the shit stuck in your pipes.
Yeah.
I hate them.
I just hate the fucking plumbers thing. I hate it so much.
No, but
I hate it so much.
I do go with the, especially talking basketball. Like, if we're doing, like, a top 10 thing, I will never rank a player that played before 1970 on, like... Their whole career was before 1970. I won't include them because I don't understand
if you wouldn't have Bill
to.
Russell in your top 10, you're out of your mind.
I can't. It's not even the plumber debate. The league had 8 teams. Cool.
Still Bill fucking Russell.
Cool. He wasn't even the best player at his time. Wilt was.
You still got to give him his roses. I mean,
no,
I get if you're going like pure talent. Sure.
I just leave all of those super old guys out because I don't know how to rank them. It doesn't make sense. There were only 8 teams. You didn't have the level of competition. Not due to all the players being bad. They were still professional athletes. Now, were the times different? Absolutely. Nobody back then looked like LeBron. I'm sorry, nobody now looks like LeBron. Like, that's the whole problem there.
Have you never watched DeMar DeRozan play in the regular season?
He's not LeBron. Somehow DeMar's
better.
No, he's a worse shooter. He's a worse defender. He's a worse passer. Cool, he can hit a
Fake
mid-range.
News. Fake news.
He's a worse scorer in every way, except he hits
mid-range. Not to go off topic, you know what fucking argument DeMar, I hate? Like, circling around DeMar, you know what argument I fucking hate? Michael Jordan would be DeMar DeRozan if he played in today's NBA. I hate that so much.
So we've been over this. You know, I have LeBron as the GOAT. Whatever.
You have Jordan, yeah.
Sure. My argument is Bron and Jordan are 1-2. I don't care where you put them. It's when you take one of those out of the top 2 where I have a problem. And I don't care which one it is. They're 1A, 1B, and you get and at that point it's just preference. Like I'm sorry.
I mean, I've given up on the GOAT debate, honestly. Like, I firmly believe it's Jordan, but I'm not going to fucking argue with you over it because everyone's so in their own ass about it that it's so pointless.
Right, and both sides, you're just making shit up. Like, you really are.
That entire argument is based on hypotheticals, and there's nothing I hate more than an argument entirely based on hypotheticals because there's no way to fucking prove it. Just because you can be like, well, if LeBron played in the 90s, he would score 50 a game. There's no way to ever fucking prove it.
Real quick, we did see Jordan play in this era of basketball, by the way. It was Kobe. They're the same fucking guy.
Fair.
Like, we know how that would have worked. We saw it. We did.
And a fucking superstar still.
Right. Now, would he have been... yeah, he would have still been Jordan. I was going to say, would he have still been Jordan the way we view him? Yeah. Because I was going to say that, but then I was like, Kobe's still Kobe. So yeah.
Like, no disrespect to Kobe, but if Jordan would have played in this era, you know, you want to go with that whole thing, it would have just been Kobe, but magnified.
Maybe. I still do believe Jordan would never have been a good shooter. I don't know why people go with that hypothetical of like, well, if he would have focused on it, but no.
Yeah, and it just goes back to hypotheticals being stupid at the end of the day.
It really does, but like, fuck.
I'm not going to argue one way or another whether Jordan would have been a good shooter. I mean, he had his moments.
I just look at the fact that he played when the three-point line was shorter and was a worse shooter. So, like, he could...
Is what it is. I don't know.
I'm sorry. There are plenty of guys who can't shoot who are still legends.
Right.
And there are plenty of guys who don't have a mid-range who are legends. Steph doesn't have a mid-range. Steph can score at the basket or score way over there.
Like LeBron.
Right. Or what? Wait. Yeah.
I was just saying LeBron
I totally missed
throws.
whatever you said. So, yeah. Yeah, but neither could Shaq. Like, and let's be honest, they have a very similar style of play. They just want to dominate you at the rim, and that's what they do. You can't.
Shaq was better at it, though.
No. LeBron's the best finisher of basketball ever.
I know,
you're trying to get me riled up. I get it. I'm already riled up. I don't know why. I'm having to go.
No.
Also, what happened to this being a short podcast?
No, because I got to get up at 8 in the morning.
Oh, no. Okay, let's...
Fine. If I
finish
get
it, I'll
6
finish
hours
it.
or more, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't even remember where I was at. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, the plumber thing. Listen.
Yeah.
Give a fuck when a player played. You give them their roses.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I don't care if you don't like... I'm going to use him because he's my boy. Bronco Nagurski, because he played in the 30s and the 40s. He was a fucking superstar. Like... Or if you put Sony Michel in the 30s, he would have been a witch. They would have accused him of witchcraft, whatever. Well,
I do think there are players that might be the case for. There are certain guys who are just Aaron Donald. I don't care where you put him. He's getting accused of witchcraft.
Point is, hypotheticals to discredit a player are bullshit.
No.
If a guy was good, I don't care what he played against, I don't care who he played against, I don't care when he played. If he's good, you recognize that and respect it. Now, if you want to pull the whole, I don't understand how to rank them because they played in an era that's different.
I'm still going to give you your roses. I'm just not going to put you on my list.
Give them their roses. Like
you're going to be an honorable. Wilt and Bill will be like an honorable mention. I don't know what the fuck to do with these two, so I'm going to say them. They're not in my top 10. Not because of anything bad. They're not in my top 100, technically, because I don't know what to do with them.
Right. Example, something I defend a lot. Bears have 2 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. We want to get all this shit about the Bears having bad quarterbacks.
Jay Cutler, the GOAT, though.
Sid Luckman and George Blanda both were quarterbacks for the Chicago Bears and are both in the Hall of Fame. You cannot take that away from the organization. You cannot take that away from either of those men. You can not take that away from their families, their teammates, their fans, whoever. They're Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I don't care if they were playing in a run-dominant league against old white dudes that were smoking cigarettes on the sideline. Those were still the best athletes.
Yeah, but they were smoking cigarettes too.
Right. And none of that, but those were the best athletes in the world at that time, or the best athletes the nation, because we're talking about a national sport, the best athletes in the country at that time that played that sport. How are you going to hold that against them? That's fucking ridiculous. They were still playing good football. Like, I get a lot of shit because I think Mike Ditka is one of the 3 greatest tight ends of all time. I don't care that he played in the 1960s. He was a fucking dominant force in the 1960s, and he revolutionized the goddamn position. If there wasn't a Mike Ditka, there wouldn't be a Tony Gonzalez. There wouldn't be a Travis Kelce. There wouldn't be a Shannon Sharp. Because Ditka was the first tight end that was really used as a fucking receiving threat. I just saw a clip yesterday of Mike Ditka running through 2 dudes, spinning around them and running 63 yards for a touchdown. If George Kittle or Travis Kelce did that today, it would be on SportsCenter for a fucking year. It would be a historic play. But because Mike Ditka did it, I don't care. I could have done that. They're plumbers. Shut the fuck up.
I have the same argument, but Fran Tarkenton, people disrespect him wildly all the time. When, I'm sorry, the modern quarterback, who created that? Who was the first of what we call modern quarterbacks? The Mahomes, the Allen.
Jackson.
What?
Lamar Jackson.
No.
Yes.
No. There's only one guy in the league who plays like Lamar, and really only one that ever has, and it's Lamar.
You never watched Pat Ricard?
He's not a quarter. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Ravens fans hate Pat Ricard. I had to work him in.
I don't care. I mean, at least I no longer look like the biggest Pat Ricard hater in your mind because I rank him at 3 instead of at 2.
Oh, they're mad because Pat Ricard's gotten a shit ton of snaps this year.
You know who I wish would get more snaps?
DJ Ham, as he should.
He needs more.
DJ Ham would probably be number 2 in my rankings if they would put him on the fucking field more.
Why are we running 2 tight end sets? Get fucking Nick Muse out of there and put CJ Ham in somewhere. I don't care.
Is that the little fucking white fucker? Is that the white tight end that y'all have?
But we have like 3 of them.
He wears 86. Munt. Johnny Munt. Munt, if you're seeing this, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a Munt guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't like any. Oh, I guess Muse isn't there anymore. We got Munt and Ellefson.
Who the fuck wears 34 for you guys?
It used to be.
I've seen him on the sideline.
It used to be. God, my brain just shattered. Andrew Sandejo used to wear it.
I think it's a tight end that wears 34 for y'all, and it was really bothering me. Maybe.
No, I don't know. ESPN. No, he wears 82. I don't know. I guess is what I can say here. This guy's a linebacker. He doesn't have a number according to fucking ESPN, so that's dope. Maybe it's Benton Whitley, who they just
34 picked. Is y'all don't have a 34 listed. Say 34 that plays for the Vikings. Anyways, whoever that is, that guy was pissing me off. Oh, maybe he's on IR? No? Practice squad?
Yeah, it could be.
It's Nick Muse. It is Nick Muse. Oh, it was
Nick Muse! Hey!
He wears 34, and I hate him for it.
I hate the Vikings' weird way we're doing our offense as a whole right now.
Yeah.
CJ Ham's not in enough. For some reason, Munt keeps getting to be in as if, I'm sorry, who would you rather throw to on 3rd and 3? Munt or CJ motherfucking Ham? The disrespect to Ham.
I mean, like I said, we've had this conversation before. Ham all around is a more talented fullback than Ricard. For me, Ricard gets the edge for his importance and his usage, his sheer blocking ability, because the man is an extra offensive tackle at all times.
Yeah.
Ravens fans are really mad because he's getting more snaps than every single receiver on their team right now. But all of the receivers are bad or hurt, and they run the ball a lot. So, what do you do?
Oh, I don't get to read this article. Fuck you, Bloomberg. Forcing people to pay to read an article is always the dumbest thing I will ever see.
Very lame.
Okay, that's not fair. Forcing people to pay to read an article that's going to be covered in fucking ads anyways will always piss me off. Have you ever been to, like, Bloomberg's website? You get, like, 4 square inches of actual information surrounded by only ads. They have more ads than actual information on the page, and I hate it.
Yeah.
No, apparently I don't get to actually read what this is about. But weed is gonna be coming. You're gonna be able to buy weed at Circle K gas stations in the U.S. next year, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I mean, you can buy alcohol at a gas station, so why not? Like,
this has no impact on my life whatsoever.
Technically mine either, because it's still illegal in this state, but whatever.
Just asthmatic and scared.
Yeah, that's fair. See, I kind of told my body, I know you're asthmatic, but also fuck you. If I want to smoke, I'll smoke. And genuinely, my asthma's not as bad as it used to be. I just have asthma attacks, basically. Like, when I was really young, it used to, like, get me all the time. But now it's just, like, every once in a while, it's like, can't fucking breathe. And then I go find an inhaler, chill out for an hour, and I'm good. Whatever.
Mine isn't quite as bad anymore, but because
I wouldn't recommend smoking.
No. But the predisposition in my brain of, like, breathing bad means asthma scary.
Yes.
Now when I have really bad anxiety, that's one of my, like, main symptoms is I feel like they call it air hunger, where you feel like you need to get a really deep breath in and you're doing it, but your body doesn't think you are, so it sends you into a panic. It scares the fuck out of me. I have had 3 panic attacks in the past 4 months because of that.
Okay. Sorry. Really?
Yes.
Your anxiety's getting you hard.
It's been rough. I had one that was really, really bad. The other 2 weren't quite as bad. It was more of just like I needed to chill the fuck out and I was okay. The other one kept me up. I tried to fall asleep at like midnight and I was scared to sleep because I was like, well, what if I can't breathe in my sleep? Because I didn't realize what was going on. I thought it was my asthma.
Right.
So I was up and then eventually I freaked out and I woke my parents up and I was up until like 7 a.m. I think.
Yep.
And yeah, it was bad. That was the really bad one. And then I had 2 milder ones that lasted for like an hour.
I normally have at least 1 anxiety attack a month and at least 1, I don't know what you call it, depressive episode, depression attack, I don't know. At least 1 every month. Constant. I did also have another anxiety attack this month at TwitchCon because I got over fucking whelmed. It was like the second day. There was just so much going on. Like, I went back to the hotel and hung out for an hour because I needed to just, like, sit there alone, curled up in a ball. That's
what happened to me. My real bad one happened like 4 days before I was going back to school.
And then I'm a dumbass, so the second I was over it, I walked back over to the convention. It was like, it's fine. We got it out of the way. It was a tough day.
By the way, I just want to say, you got a picture with Amaranth, right?
Yeah.
I'm very glad you weren't one of the people that had her step on you. I'm proud of you for that.
No, that was weird.
It was so bad.
Her chat was very rude to me. So I didn't know she was streaming. But then I went back afterwards because somebody had tweeted the picture to me of like, hey, was this you on her stream? I was like, fuck, I guess it was. I didn't know she was streaming. I was just hanging out. But yeah, I went back and like looked at what her chat was saying when I walked up. They were very rude.
How so?
It doesn't shock me. I'm a large dude with weird-looking facial hair. Pretty lady.
Yeah.
What the one I've talked about this already, so I don't care. The one thing that did bother me though, they kept saying in chat that I was just like staring at her tits. It's like, she's a foot shorter than me. I'm looking down to look her in the face. If I look straight forward, there's no amaranth. Like, fuck.
Like, at least you might have been the only person to maintain eye contact with her.
Right? Like, that's what I was
Not
doing.
just from like the perverted angle, but also like those people don't know how social interaction works. So you're looking at her like, hi, how are you? Like,
right? Like, I'm attempting to make eye contact. Because, you know, we don't do the same things in this field. We work in the same field. There's a chance in the future that I have to interact with Amaranth again. I would like my interactions to be good. There was only one that wasn't, and it was with Ludwig. Yeah, she's
really. Hold on. What happened with Ludwig?
Oh, he's a cunt.
What?
Yeah. So he blurted out that I'm not taking pictures with anyone. I'm not talking to any of you. Whatever. It's like, okay. I walked away. Talked to Valkyrie. Talked to XQC, Hassan. All these people. Saw Ludwig again. He was kind of off. He was taking a picture and talking to somebody. So I waited, you know. They finished that interaction. He started walking my way, and I was like, yo, what's up, Ludwig? Turned around and walked the other way. So I straight up just went, oh, so you're a cunt then. And I walked away. Like, yeah, okay, fuck you, dude. That was awful. Like, I could tell he heard me. It wasn't like a miscommunication. It was some bullshit. I was pissed.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, it weirdly tracks, like, with the way I hear him just talk about himself. I don't know if he's truly just a dick, but he definitely is not, like... I think he'd even admit he's not, like, super open and lovey-dovey. Like...
Well, yeah, I was going to say, that's the thing, too. Like,
he hires people to do everything for him. That dude doesn't do anything.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we got to remember these are just people.
Yeah. Like,
and they don't, like, I'm not saying in this situation you're in the wrong, but like, they don't owe you social interaction.
They definitely don't. Though I would argue in, like, the open areas at TwitchCon, that's a little different.
I'm not trying to excuse him. Like, that was a shitty thing to do. If it was just, like, walking
down the street, like, okay, whatever. He doesn't owe me shit. But at TwitchCon, in the area where you know everybody's going to be, you're in the meet and greet area, like the actual, like, made one, and then the entire internet knows that Valkyrie, Hassan, XQC, they're all up here. Like, you're in a spot where you're going to get people trying to talk to you. If you don't want to do that, leave that spot. There's an area. There's multiple areas where he could go where he wouldn't have to interact with anybody. But you chose to be here. That makes it a little weird.
Yeah, that's why I am so scared to ever, like, interact with people I follow. Like, even, like, having a football player on my podcast, I'm scared to do because I'm afraid they're going to be shitty.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not upset with him, but, you know, I've talked about the whole Kyle Long thing where he was like, hey, man, I'll come on your podcast. And then he gave us a date. And I was like, well, me and my co-host are both going to be in class at that time. Can we reschedule? He was like, you're going to have to give me a couple weeks. I'm about to have a kid. So, like, completely understandable. You know, I get it completely. But then, like, 3 months later, I messaged him, never got anything back. And I've tweeted at him, nothing. So, like, I'm afraid of that happening again. Because I have DM'd other players and, like, no response. I'd rather that.
Right.
Because at least I know, like, oh, well, they just don't check their DMs. They don't care.
I've DM'd, like, every Viking, and...
I've done the same thing with the Bears.
They're also very smart, I hope. Either they're very smart or they truly don't check their DMs. Because I also do get very angry if I see the scene checkmark. It's like, dude, you could just say, like, no, fuck you. I would prefer that. Don't ghost me.
But like that's why I've never tried to reach out to like a YouTuber I watch. Granted, a lot of them wouldn't really go with my podcast, but any of the ones like MMG, for example, or TD Presents, like the Madden guys, or that's the only one. The only big one I've had on that like I genuinely look up to is Brett Coleman, and he was a fucking saint. Such a good dude.
Awesome.
Even like.
So sorry. Go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
But even like Theo, when he was on there, you could tell the vibes were kind of weird.
Right. Yeah.
I also think he's just a very backwards person.
Well, Theo is his vibe is just kind of weird, like all the time.
Like when he was on there, I think I've said this before. He was very like rushing it. Like he really wanted to be done with it within an hour, which is fair. I kind of told him like it could be anywhere from an hour to an hour 30, somewhere in that range, and he wanted it to be an hour. So, plus he like took over my podcast, which like I don't care. I'm not someone who cares about that shit. You're Theo Ash. That's what people are clicking on the video to see. Go for it.
And also, let's be honest. I've taken over your podcast before. You've taken over mine. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have a
as long as you're not being a
conversation,
dick about it.
If we're gonna have a conversation and we get into a topic that the other is very passionate about, where you're just like trying to talk about it, like, yeah, I'm gonna take over because like I know stuff. I got things to say.
Right, and we were talking about his team, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
He was also like making sly comments towards me, and I think part of it was just like Bears fan, but also like it didn't sit right with me the way he was saying it. I also read into things too much sometimes, so there could be that.
Same.
I read into social interactions way too much, which is why I am.
That's why.
Me.
So I'm very happy with Twitch. I didn't meet very many streamers or content creators that I like watch. Like I went and met Symphony. I don't watch most of what he makes. I just see him sometimes, and like he's cool. Like I know about him, and it's like, yeah, I want to go talk to that guy. You know, have some conversation. But like outside of Valkyrie, most of the super famous people that I talked to weren't like people that I like am dying to watch. It's just like they're here. It'd be kind of dope to meet them, and just maybe talk for a second. Valkyrie, no shot you're gonna get to talk to her for a second. The swarm she creates is fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, though I did get a compliment from Valkyrie, which was pretty fucking hilarious. So I was standing next to this guy. He, I don't know, he had some sort of disability. I don't know what. Like, he couldn't walk. He's on this little scooter thing sitting right here, and he keeps trying to get a picture with Valkyrie. But people, as soon as he'll like try to speak up, they'll like step in front of him and say some shit. And she was like, she pointed at me like, you want your picture or whatever? And I'm like, no, get him first. And like took his phone, took the picture for him. And somebody else tried to walk up right after that and like start talking to her. And she was like, no, this guy's very kind. He gets to come talk to me first. I was like, hey, I got called kind by Valkyrie. Oh. Yeah, I definitely wasn't riding a high for the next like 4 hours.
I mean, I think most people would be in that situation.
Dude, she's so great.
I mean, I don't even watch her stuff,
right?
but I get the vibe.
Yeah. But like JC Backfire, that's a name that doesn't mean much to most people. I get that. But he is, one of those old zombies YouTubers that is like the reason I'm here. Like doing what I do today. I saw him. Not only did he recognize me because I was in one of his videos one time, because like at the end of Black Ops 4, the zombies storyline had ended. So he did a video where he wanted people to send in clips of them talking about their favorite experiences in the zombies community. Not like in the game, but like as the community. And it's like, for me, it's always Easter eggs for charity, the event that they did where they, these zombies YouTubers raised $1 million for St. Jude's during an Easter egg.
Awesome.
Like, that was fucking sick. It was awesome to be a part of that. So that's what I talked about in the video. And he was like, I recognize you and I don't know why. And I was like, I was in that video. And he's like, oh yeah, you were. And he's the only one like I actually talked to for an extended period of time. That was great. What I would give
Awesome.
to have him on the podcast. His DMs aren't open. I am genuinely considering just tweeting at him.
Try it.
It's worth a shot. What's the worst that happens? You don't get a reply?
I know for a fact, like, there's people that I watch that would be dicks in real life. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know Marcus Whitman, TFG, that franchise guy?
Yeah, kind of, but, like, I'm not a big Madden YouTuber guy.
He's not a Madden guy.
Well, no, but any of them. But he definitely is. He still makes rosters for Madden.
Yeah, but primarily his content is centering on the NFL.
Gotcha.
Like he has a second channel where he does like franchise and all that, but mostly he's switched to like weekly power rankings, his studs and duds, which he does translate into Madden. Even though he mostly doesn't do the Madden anymore, he has people that do it for him.
Gotcha.
I know for a fact, like, if I had him on my podcast, he would be such a pompous asshole.
Right.
Like, I respect him. He knows football, and I like watching his stuff. I could never talk to him, because I know for a fact I'd say one thing, and he'd be like, well, actually, you are incorrect, because this player had an EPA of 4.432 and hit me with some bullshit. And I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry.
This is why my new goal in life is to get a smart board back here. So I can just purely break down film. Like midstream, I can just throw it up back here. I can draw on the shit, you know? Like, that way, when I'm having a conversation like that, it's like, oh, you want to go into all this advanced bullshit? Let's just watch the game and, like, do all of that. I want one bad. Bad.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with correcting somebody when they're wrong, but there's a respectful way to do it.
Like, all the time.
Right. Like, I know he would be an asshole about it. Whereas, for example, if I said something wrong to Brett Coleman, he'd be like, I understand what you're saying, but look at it like this,
right.
And then he'd give the reason, and then be like, oh, okay, right. Yeah, because Brett's a genuine sweet dude. Like, when I have him on there,
when you say him, because there are times where I will just go, well, no, that's not accurate. Hold on.
Right.
But, but you can also tell, like, I'm not trying to be a dick.
Right. Like, even when we had Brett on, he had to leave early because he had, like, a doctor's appointment or something. And he didn't even speak up to tell me. He didn't want to interrupt anybody talking. He typed it in the chat, and he was like, hey, guys, I got to go. It was really nice being on. And then I was like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't even see it because I didn't have the chat open. Like I said, he straight up, I think I was ranting about something. I think we were talking about Andy Janovich.
Nice.
And I was ranting about Janovich. And then I was like, oh, okay, real quick, before you go, can you answer one more question? He was like, sure thing, of course I can. Because, you know, he very well could have been like, fine, or like, no, I really got to go. He's like, yeah, man, of course I can. And I asked him, like, do you think fullbacks still have a place in the NFL? And he gave a long, drawn-out answer, even though he had somewhere to go because he was being so nice. Like, Brett was awesome. But like I said, I know for a fact there's people out there that I like and I look up to that would just be such assholes if I had them on.
And it's one of those things, like, I get it. Like, okay, to be in the position, even we get it. And we're not huge. Like, we are, in all reality, very small creators. But we have to deal with the internet's bullshit. So, now imagine what we have to deal with scaled up by a million. Yeah. And, yeah, like, I get it. I do. But also, like, I don't know. There's still a part of me, like, people are still human. Like, but that's why I also get it on their end. You're still human, and I get why your brain is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shitting on these guys for that.
Right.
I'm not, because like you said, people are human. Some people just deal with people better than others. Like, for example, I keep going back to Brett. That's just my best like source. He'll randomly tweet out like, hey, I'm in this city, who wants to get dinner? Like, he's just a people person. He likes talking to people. He likes being around people. Whereas Marcus, he doesn't seem like that. He's like a film junkie. He's got his wife, and that's kind of where he's at. He doesn't seem like somebody that likes to go out and make a big scene with other people and be super social. Granted, I don't know the guy personally. I don't actually know, but the vibe he gives off and like what he shows on social media and the actual reference points that I have, I really feel like that's the type of dude he is.
I think it's always weird because I get that feeling about some people, and then you meet them and they're honestly like Amaranth. I genuinely thought she was just gonna kind of be like the, you know, hi, take a picture, leave. No, like, she wanted to have conversations with people. I'm still mad I didn't ask to sign the pickle. She had a giant inflatable pickle that people were signing.
I saw it in the background.
I'm mad I didn't ask. I should have signed the pickle.
See, the smart thing to do is find out where she lives and show up at her doorstep.
No, it's not. Do not recommend.
Did you see that happen to?
That happens.
Did you see that happen to MMG? Happened to MMG like the other day. Some kid's mom showed up on his doorstep and was like, "Can we get a picture?"
No, but you can get the cops called on you.
Well, he took the picture with the kid because it wasn't the kid's fault. Like, he could tell the kid. Well, the kid was embarrassed. Oh. He wanted nothing to do with it. The kid was like, "Mom, we shouldn't be here." It was the mom.
If I heard the kid say that, then it's like, yeah, I'll take a picture with your kid, but I'm also filing a police report.
Yeah, but that's what he did. He tweeted out, like, this mom was crazy, and then, like, as a second tweet was like, but the kid was cool as shit, and I'm sorry his mom's crazy, and I still took the picture with him. Like, it's weird. People are fucking insane with that kind of stuff. Like, for example, I'll come on a podcast and I'll chew your fucking ear off. Chew your ear off. That's not the right word. Talk your ear off. I'm not Mike Tyson.
Yeah, get after it. No.
No, I'll talk your ear off about football, but like if somebody came up to me in public, like if I was walking on campus and was like, "Hey, you're the fullback guy," I would withdraw into myself and go on autopilot. I think that would scare the fuck out of me.
Dude, yeah. Even like with people you kind of know, like at TwitchCon, there were other streamers that like I've never actually like truly interacted with, but we're like adjacent to each other. Cause like, I'm friends with this guy, they're friends with this guy, these two are friends. So we're like in the same group, but we don't know each other. And they'll walk up and you're the Geek Slaves, right? And it's like, yeah, I am. Yeah. Hi. I don't really know how to talk to people. So I can't say who it was because there are things that people can't know about this interaction. Like, like the person who it was that was smoking, and they don't want people to know that, and I'm not going to oust them for that. But we were at this bar, and I ran out of cigarettes, and then was there for another 2 hours, and didn't know how much longer we were going to stay there because it was still only like 11 o'clock. Like, it's like, okay, this is bad. There is not a gas station close by. This is nothing like home. I used to be able to buy cigarettes in bars. I don't know what's going on. So I saw this person go outside and start smoking. So I walked out. Well, I asked one of my buddies, I was like, "Do you know who that is?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, fuck. I want to go ask them for a cigarette, but I don't know how. One of my friends walked with me over there and asked her for me.
Oh.
Which was kind of hilarious.
It's like middle school all over again.
Dude, and it was one of those things like, he was explaining, no, it wasn't because you're female. It's because you're another person. It's like, yeah, I can't go up and talk to people.
I can't either.
Like, the meet and greets and that type of stuff at TwitchCon were weird enough, but it was also like, I'm not going to miss an opportunity to have these conversations just because. But it was also on that day where I met everybody where I needed an hour to calm the fuck down because I was doing too much. I overextended.
See, I'm good in like forced social interactions. Like if I'm in a college class and I get forced into a group, I can kill that. Like we did some group project in one of my classes yesterday, and I was not to brag or anything, but I was what's the word the kids use nowadays? I had Riz. I was the Riz god.
What?
Is that the word they use?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking loser.
It's spitting game, but there's a new word. They call it Riz, but I don't know how to use it. Don't. God, I feel
whoever's using
yes, they do.
Stop it. No, go back to fucking groovy. I don't care.
Anyways,
anything except this shit.
My point is, there was a girl in the group, and like me and her were going back and forth, and like I was being a normal person, and I'm not gonna say spitting game, but like I feeling myself and whatnot. And I have that class with her tomorrow. Or today, I guess, because it's 1:30.
Let's go!
And I know for a fact I can't even approach her.
Yep.
without being forced.
Yep.
And it's not even like you said, it's not the fact that she's a woman. It's just
a human being.
I can't do it. Like I was in a class and I had to get in groups and everyone split off and I was the one who didn't get in a group and I was like, okay, I can do this by myself. It's no big deal. I don't care. And the professor came over and called me out on it and I was like, listen, social interactions are not my thing. And she was like, you know what? I get it. Just do your thing. And I was like, okay, cool.
I did that so often in high school. Like, I don't know if I ever did
in high school.
I did. I also did.
High school, I was good with everybody. Like high school, I wasn't popular, but everybody knew me, and I knew everybody.
Everybody knew me, and everybody hated me for reasons that I wasn't even in control of.
I was the opposite. Like, I was the lovable fat kid in high school. Like, if it would have been a sitcom, I would have been the comedic relief kid type of deal.
Funnily enough, I would almost bet that people at my school thought I would be the one to go off the deep end. Because nobody talked to me. Like, I was just the guy who wore headphones all the time, never ended up talking to anyone. But that's because, like, it was wild. Like, so I have one friend, Anthony. I don't think you've met him. But Anthony moved to our school, and I walked up and, like, tried to start talking to him, whatever, trying to make a friend. And he told me that later that day, he had been talked to by, like, 28 people saying not to be friends with me. They didn't have a reason, but just not to. Like, yeah, I was absolutely despised for my entire high school career. I don't know.
I got lucky. There was one person who despised me, and it was the football coach. That was it.
Fair.
But
I was actually kind of cool with most of the teachers, though.
Was with every teacher not named that guy's name. Yeah. I was cool with.
No, I had
He's never going to see this. Everyone not named Brian Hansel. I was cool with.
Okay, doxing people's a little interesting of a choice, but
is it really though?
Yeah. He's never going to see it. Other people will, though, you goof.
Oh, yeah, but, like, is it doxing somebody to say their name? Is that...
I don't know. If they don't have it as a truly public-facing thing, then yes.
Well, I mean, he's a high school football coach. He's pretty out there. He likes... Well, he's a little media darling, let me tell you.
If Theo Ash wasn't... that's not his real name. And I figured out what it was and said it, that would still be doxing him. Even though it's just a name.
But, I mean...
I don't know. Who cares? That's not important.
Like I said, in the paper every week, it's Coach Brian Hansel did this, and this.
But
quoting him and all that. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's not that situation. He's a very public figure. He likes the media.
My God. I didn't go to class 90% of the time. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah. But, I was also the guy who would leave if shit was going down. Like, the one time, I think I told you about the time I threw the chair at the kid. It was deserved. The teacher sent that kid to the office. Like, I was not actually in the wrong there. Is that a valid response? No. But, it also, it was justified, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I just left. I knew it was going to be a bigger problem if I saw that kid again that day. So, I left. I just walked the fuck out. I was done. And that's what would happen. People would get overly rude, and instead of, doing what I could have done and breaking their bones, I just left.
Fair enough.
I think I only got into one actual fight at school ever, and it was deserved. It was the one kid. It was the popular kid who bullied me my entire life. And he just, I don't know, one day he just said something, and it was too fucking far. I didn't even say a word to him. I just walked up and punched him.
Fair enough.
Knocked him on his ass and waited for him to get up, and he just wouldn't.
The only time
I stood there.
Yeah. The only time I got in a fight, there was a kid that he wasn't a popular kid, but he had a loud mouth and he liked to run his mouth.
Yeah, you love
and
this.
I remember, I remember I went to my dad about it, and he was like, "Well, the next time he says anything to you, no matter how small, you take care of it."
Parents.
And I think the kid said I looked like a fat Justin Bieber or something. That was the comment. So we walked into the locker room at gym class, and I threw him up against the wall and punched him in the face like 6 times.
Nice.
And his response was grab a handful of my hair. So like I pulled my hand away to like grab his hand, and he ducked underneath my arm and ran away. And that's how that fight ended.
That's a valid response.
And then I went back after him, and that's how I got in trouble. Because the gym teacher didn't see me at first.
You don't
and he
go back after him. You just end it.
Angry.
Or you get caught by the principal standing over the kid with a broken nose. That also doesn't help. When he wasn't getting up, I should have just left.
Yeah.
Instead of, I just wanted him to get up. I refuse to be the kick him when he's down or even kind of down. Like, no, stand the fuck back up. I'm not done with it. I genuinely think I went all full nerd and said that. Like, stand back up. I'm not done with you yet. I genuinely think
protagonist.
Dude, I'm a nerd. I don't watch anime though, which is the funnier part.
Don't either.
But like, yeah, I'm just like, no, get up. I'm not done yet. I've been waiting too long. Get up. Yeah, that was how my
entire arc has built to this moment. How dare you?
Why was this so easy? I'm not Saitama. I just said I don't watch anime, but here I am talking about an anime. One Punch Man. I just know Iro is very into anime, and so are some of the people in my group. So I like hear about it. I don't watch it, but I know his name.
My buddies are too, but it goes in one ear and out the other.
I know Goku. Like, I know who Goku is.
Yeah, everybody knows who Goku is.
Saitama's becoming Goku. Basically,
he's
becoming the big guy because he's One Punch Man. His whole thing is like he
I
beats
know
everybody in one hit and like can't
die.
It. So like
And didn't he like kill the ocean?
I don't know. All I know is that the only thing I know is that he got this powerful by training every day. He did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups.
One of my buddies did like the One Punch Man workout or whatever for like a month.
And just went, oh, I don't feel any different at all.
Probably. No. We really got to wrap up. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. It's been 3 hours. I had other things to do. I gotta fly out of here in like 36 hours. This is not ideal.
Shit. Anyways, my anime knowledge is Pokemon. I know Pokemon very well.
That's valid.
Love me some Pokemon. I know who Goku is. I know who the One Punch Man is. I called him the One Punch Man. God, I sound like a suburban mom.
Yeah.
And I know Naruto. I know like Yu-Gi-Oh. I know about that. I know about Bakugan. Then there's this one anime about these 2 dudes who get like these mythical powers, and the only thing I know about it, there's a scientist and he's like obsessed with this like I think it's called Full Metal Alchemist.
That might be.
Sounds like a thing. Yeah,
no, that is definitely an anime. Dude. I just don't know if that's the one.
There's a scientist dude that's like obsessed with alchemy. He combines his daughter, who's like 5, and his dog to one being. And like the 2 brothers like knew the little girl because they like know the scientist, and they pull up and the dog walks up to one of the boys and he's like talking to the dog, and then the little girl's voice comes out of the dog like, do you want to play? And then they go fucking ballistic, and then like the FBI or something shows up, kills the scientist, and then kills the dog-girl hybrid thing.
Oh no!
That's all I know. That's my only knowledge of the entire anime. So I saw that.
Oh, go ahead.
Like a special name for the dog thing too, but it's like a white dog, and it's got like long hair and like dead soulless eyes, and it fucking scared me. I saw that when I was in like middle school, and it has stuck with me.
So
that might be why I never got into anime. It's just because of that.
So I can say 2 things about anime. I've never watched a full Dragon Ball Z anything, but Dragon Ball Z Abridged, they allow Goku and Vegeta to curse, and it's the funniest fucking thing. I've only ever seen one clip from it, but it's the, why does he keep kicking me in the dick thing? That's from Dragon Ball. That was Vegeta saying that.
I saw a clip from Dragon Ball where
why?
It had a bit of voiceover.
It could have been.
But it was like a bunch of people showed up. Somebody pointed a gun. And he was like, wait, don't shoot. He's white. And they went away.
Jesus.
I think there were cops. I'm not positive, but
I
they're
don't
like,
know.
wait, you can't shoot him. He's white.
So I want to watch that version of Dragon Ball Z because, like, funny. I don't know why. It seems funnier because that clip was genuinely hilarious. Like, I laughed for way more time than I should have. It was great.
Remember, there's one other thing I know.
Ooh.
I didn't watch it, but I watched a Mr. Gigi video about this like horror anime where this girl is like a pop star and then she quits making music to act. Because of that, her career goes weird. She like has to be lady of the night. Not quite that, but like
gotcha.
approaching that.
Yep.
On the show, and then she like starts having like out of body experiences, and people around her start dying. Like her producer dies for making her uncomfortable, and then her agent dies, and then the stalker that you think is the one killing everybody dies, and then it turns out her second agent, who's like her mom, is actually like pretending to be her, fucking with her head and killing everybody. It's really weird. I don't remember the name of it, but I watched it because I was like, oh, Mr. Gigi. Okay. Then it went weird. I don't know.
Real quick, I've just decided that the title of this episode is going to be episode 141. Grab your popcorn. Miller Football's returned, because for some reason we don't go for less than 3 hours. It's just not possible. I don't get it.
Like I said, I wanted to be done in like an hour. I got class.
So did I, dog. I don't get it.
I know. I'm not blaming you by saying that. I'm
just
saying it's what happened.
Death Note is the only anime I've ever watched the entirety of. It's genuinely a good show. Like, I recommend it. It's also only like, they're like 30-minute episodes, and it's only got like 37 total. So like,
I know a lot of animes are supposed to be really good. The only one I've seen in its entirety is Pokemon.
But most of them are just too long. Like, you can never. What is it? One Piece has like 10,000 episodes. How do you ever start watching One Piece?
One of my mutuals on Twitter and TikTok told me to watch One Piece because I was ranking shows or something, and he was like, "You should watch One Piece." And I was like, "No, I do not have the time. I've got other shows that I want to watch that aren't near as long as One Piece."
I don't have the time to watch the shows that I currently enjoy, let alone trying to add something.
Like I'm behind on a lot of the Marvel stuff. I'm behind on the Harley Quinn show. I haven't seen any of Andor. I think Tales of the Jedi comes out soon too, and I'll be definitely watching that as it airs. I can't hold myself back on that one. Like, I watched She-Hulk as it aired, and I couldn't hold myself back. That was a great show. Fuck anyone who disagrees. Are you frozen?
No, I'm reading. Oh. Sorry.
Okay. My computer's been fucky today, so I got worried.
Well, it's a fair question, you know. I know your computer.
Yeah.
Things happen.
People are starting to see what my computer itself looks like, and it's not a pretty sight. It's a very gross computer.
Oh, you don't clean it?
I do, but my little sister gets a hold of it.
Oh.
So there's like stuff on it that just can't be cleaned.
Oh.
It was her computer initially.
Oh.
And she got a new one, and then she broke that one.
She get a new one? You're going to college, she gets a new laptop?
I haven't really asked for one, if I'm being totally honest. Like,
because you wanted more Bears jerseys?
No, just because I don't ask for a lot of things.
Fair.
I mean, I don't want to get too sad, but when you grow up with money issues,
that part
you don't ask for things a lot. Yeah.
Only now we're in a, got lucky. Times changed. It's different now, but I do really get it. Like, genuinely. Like,
when I was little, I asked for everything, but then I started to understand stuff. So now, I'm the type of person that's just like, for birthdays and stuff, it's like, just give me some money and I'll do something with it. I don't know. I don't
like when I was in 8th grade. I think it was like 8th grade. My Christmas present was a pair of shoes. I don't have a problem with that. They were fucking sick, but like,
yeah,
like it's a thing. We didn't like. as you said, you play Call of Duty, Madden, and 2K, right? That's like all the video games you get. Why? Because back in the day, that's all we could afford. That's why my video game knowledge is so low. You should start getting into other games. Gaming's great.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have the time.
Make time. What are you in college for?
Try.
Lame. Video games.
Or mass communications, so I can actually do like something with wanting to talk about sports.
I'm in mass communications, but I can't talk to people. This makes sense.
Dude, I'm perfectly, like I told you, in forced situations and public speaking, perfectly fine, but I can't do intimate conversation.
What blows my mind is I can live stream with hundreds of viewers, and I'm chilling. The minute I think about like having to talk to 5 people in real life, it's like anxiety attack. It's wild.
Yeah, see, I don't have a problem speaking in front of people. It's just when it comes to conversations with people one-on-one that, I don't know, unless it's someone I'm super comfortable with. Like, it's one of those things where once I get into it, I'm fine. It's just the
starting a conversation is scary.
Because I have a bad fear of rejection.
Same.
It's my thing. That's all it boils down to.
When everyone you've ever loved or were supposed to love has left you, it's easy to develop a fear of rejection and a fear of commitment. Trust me, I know. When your own parents didn't even love you enough to stick around, that's all you need to know to develop some trauma.
I feel bad for bitching because I am not near that level.
No, but like it doesn't matter because I know people in the same situation who don't have this fucking issue. Mental health, weird. Like, it doesn't matter. Situations, to me, don't matter. Like, you still have anxiety. It doesn't matter how good or bad the upbringing was that got you here. That's just what happens. It's mental, I don't know what to call it. Mental illness, mental disorders, mental whatever is, like, it's so weird. Because, one, you can't see it. Like, I can't look at you and go, oh, you have anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder. Oh, you can't do that. It's almost more like cancer. You don't see it until it's too late. Because eventually you can see depression. You're not going to like when you're able to, if it ever gets to that point. So, like, but it's just something that develops. This isn't, like... I don't know. I don't get somebody's always got a worse situation. It's like, I don't care. I don't care if you had it easier or harder. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I think that's just people trying to be overly positive.
Well, no, a lot of it is that type of stuff is coming from people who don't believe in mental illness.
Oh, okay, yeah, fuck those people. I thought you mean like the people that are trying to like cheer you up by saying that.
No, it's the people that are just like, I've gotten it a lot. It wasn't that bad. It could have been this. It's like, that's not helping. I get it could have been worse.
That's awful.
Hey, dumbass, it could have been a lot fucking better. Like, that's where I come from. It's like, yes, it could have been worse. There are people who have it worse than me. There are people who have it better than me. That's welcome to life. Unless you're like, what, Elon Musk, I guess? No, because he still has problems. Weird. I guess money doesn't fix that. No matter who you are, you're going to have shit. And
I was going to say... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was
just going to say, on the other side of that coin, like, that's the type of thing that helps me and my mom a lot, is that it could always be worse. But I get what you're saying. If you're using it as a way to downplay somebody, right? You're fucked up.
That's awful.
I have... Oh.
No, we're both doing this thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have a really good friend who has anxiety and depression worse than I do, and her dad is very much like, that shit ain't real. Yep. And it is the saddest, worst thing in the world, and I hate it so much. Like that are awful.
Yeah. I think the other thing, I struggle when having those deeper conversations. Like, if you have depression, you're having a depressive episode, trying to talk through it with don't come to me for that, because apparently, so I've never been tested for it, but I am. So my brother-in-law, I almost said sister's husband, my brother-in-law is a therapist. You know, so I am like actually diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I've never been diagnosed by a doctor with autism or with ADHD, but he is 100% certain that I'm on the spectrum and that I have ADHD. Obviously, not like, autism's a spectrum for a reason. I'm not at the farthest, the one farthest end. But apparently, like, if you tell me some really shitty thing that happened in your life, my response is always going to be trying to relate that to an experience I've had. Apparently, that's not the right way to talk to people. My brain doesn't.
I do the same shit sometimes.
I'm always that way, no matter what it is, good or bad. I'm comparing it to something I've gone through because I can relate to it. I can understand.
It's not like you're doing it to be malicious. You're trying to show the individual you can relate to them and you understand where they're coming from. But sometimes it's not the best thing to do for people.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't want to hear that. They just want to be listened to.
And help with their shit, not adding more shit to it.
My big problem is I try to solve everybody's problems.
I do that too.
Yeah. I'm always trying to be like objective and give people advice, and that's not always the right thing either.
No, yeah. It's like
feelings are such a hard thing to go around. Some people react to everything differently. You just have to know the person.
I'm one of those people. Like, I want to, like, when I'm telling you about my problems, I just want you to hear it and like talk to me about that. 'Cause trust me, I already know the solution. There's other reasons why I'm not there yet, and I need to work there.
Oh, I am too.
And like, so I don't need you to tell me the solution. I already know. I know what I need to do. That's not the issue. There's bigger issue here that I need to get by first. Thank you.
My thing is, I always want to hear it from somebody else just to make sure I'm right. Like, I'll know the solution. I have to hear it from somebody else for it to click.
Sure, that's fair.
Like, it's not like I go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, can you tell me this?" Like, I know how to. This is going to sound really manipulative. I know how to lead the conversation to the answer I want to hear in those type of situations, and it's usually like, usually the right thing. Like it's not like I'm being like, oh, like you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I know how to present it in the way that that's the solution you come to. I just need to hear it from somebody that
I'm worse because I will do that to people when they're trying to solve their problem. I will steal.
I'm not good at that.
I will steer the conversation so that they come up with the answer I was already trying to tell them. But they don't want to just hear the answer. So I know how to direct you to what I was already telling you. But now you have it in your head, and you win. I almost wonder if that's a trauma response.
Very possible.
Huh. Weird. We're learning.
I don't actually know, but it sounds like
it could be. Like that. That's interesting. Need to have a conversation with my therapist.
I need to do the same thing. I was actually supposed to have an appointment, but I canceled it because shit happened.
I don't have a therapist because small towns, I don't trust things.
I get free therapy at college, so.
Nice. Yeah, I don't. And, small towns, like very, very small towns, the whole, HIPAA thing doesn't really matter here. People just talk. They just talk.
I'm just going to tell you to develop alcoholism. You drink your problems away, Junior.
I mean, that is the answer here, and that I don't drink, so that's tough. Dude, the other big thing, I don't drink. So alcohol, I've decided alcoholics are the worst kind of drug addict.
Yeah. Alcohol scares me.
No other addict tries to force their addiction on you more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had a meth head come up to me and offer me meth.
Because they're trying to keep it for themselves.
Right, you have to seek that shit out. But like everybody tries to force you to drink.
Available.
Yeah, and it's just there's no stigma to it, even though there should be. Alcohol does some really fucked up shit.
I've done it once, and I hated it. I hated every second of it because it was very much forced.
So I have very weird rules. I've only been drunk twice, both on stream. One on my 21st birthday, where I did a thing where every time somebody gifted a sub, I would take a shot. So I was getting paid to drink. Fuck it, that's a W. And then I drank one other time with Eero because we were like, you know what could be funny? And if I lived somewhere where it was legal and also could in my house, I was going to say, because he was like, let's play Fortnite, but every time we lose, we take a shot. And I was like, this would be better if I lived somewhere where weed was legal, because you could take a shot, I could like take a bong rip and it'd be better. But like, okay, whatever. I'll drink with you because whatever. It wasn't forced though. And then the only time I drink in public is one, I will get one beer at Rockies games at Coors Field. For some reason, Coors at Coors Field tastes so good. I don't know what they do to that shit specifically there. Obviously, they're a sponsor. They're making sure everything is correct. If you had a bad Coors Light at Coors Field, that would be a problem. So, like, they're making sure that shit's good. The only other time is if I go specifically to a bar with people, like I'm just with you as a group or whatever, I will order one drink because it feels wrong to hang out at a bar and not get something. But I will just do one, small as I can go, and normally it's like a vodka Red Bull because the least alcohol of any of them. I know vodka's very strong, but Red Bull overpowers all the taste.
Right.
And yeah, one little vodka Red Bull isn't going to do shit to me, so it's like, I'm going to do that, and I'm good. The amount of people, though, who, have another one. Fuck you.
Yeah, see, my experience was in a buddy's basement where I was very much pressured, and it sucked.
Yep.
Sucked hard. I'm not friends with that person anymore for unrelated reasons.
Oh.
But
yeah, back in the day, people used to try to force me. It was not ideal.
Yeah, for that guy, let's just say when we were seniors in high school, he had middle schoolers on Snap, and we'll leave it at there.
Gross.
Yeah.
No, when they used to try to force me, I was the asshole at parties. Well, okay. So the school I was talking about where everybody hated...
I've never been to a party.
So the school I was talking about where everybody hated me, I just went... So I went there early life up till middle school, left, went back my sophomore year. So that middle space, I was at a different school where I wasn't hated. It was a blast. I was at parties. I was the guy who just smoked. I didn't touch alcohol. I didn't whatever. It was just... weed chilled me out and I could be around people. Like, so whatever. But like they'd try to force me to drink. I was the asshole who would take the bottle they were giving me and just go smash it. Waste all the liquor. I said no, you dumb motherfucker. Hey, after you do that, so it's each different, because normally there's, one type of, one group of kids that host the parties. So you're only at these, 5 houses total. Very small area, so there's only ever like 5 people who've thrown a party. Once you've done that at all 5 of their houses, nobody tries to force you to drink anymore because you're just wasting people's money. It's like, you're not gonna make me drink.
Right.
I will, maybe, probably not. Which is kind of fucked up because like I have alcohol in my room from the birthday streams. I bought it. What am I gonna do with it? It's just in my mini fridge, just chilling. Maybe one day. What's in there? I got
holy shit.
UV Blue Cotton Candy Vodka and Crown Royal Apple.
Fun.
Yeah. I don't know why those were the choices, but they were.
Yeah. Well, speaking of choices,
we need
respectfully, I think we need to make a choice to finish this. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just wrap it there. Go follow MillerFootball. Well, at MillerFootball _ everywhere. Yeah. Cool dude. We're done. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.